the only hero who can save the world, resolutely chooses to join the demon army after crossing over. All because of one mistake by the goddess. The hero who should have crossed over to the beginner village accidentally arrives at the Demon King's headquarters. Even worse, the strongest fighter stands right before him, yet he's completely unaware, because the goddess told him his first stop would be the beginner village, where the monsters would all be weaklings. So the hero attacks the demon without hesitation. Die, you low-level tutorial monster! But the result is unsurprising. He's defeated. So the hero is thrown into prison. Unwilling to give up, he shouts that he wants to fight the Minotaur again. However, his loud commotion attracts the headquarters. Second in command, Gobzo. Gobzo lightly places his greatsword on the ground, and the tremendous sound nearly scares the hero to death. That's actually a real sword? Okay, I'll be quiet. Gobzo turns and walks away. Human, if you make noise again, I'll stew you. After he leaves, Il sits on the ground completely confused, because the goddess once told him that lie world would be an easy and pleasant adventure with no danger at all, and he'd even have the village chief's 18 daughters for company. Little does he know, all of this was the goddess lying to meet her performance quota by sending them to another world. Just as Il can't figure out what's going on, a voice suddenly comes from the adjacent cell. Are you the new hero? So Il quickly responds and asks about the other person's identity. I'm also a hero. We're now in the slave dungeon of the Demon King's castle. Il is stunned, but what comes next is even more shocking. The hero in the next cell grins wickedly, then shouts in a booming voice, "You guys who claim to be heroes, are you all still alive?" As his words fall, the entire dungeon instantly erupts. I'm an S-rank hero. I'm still alive. Me too. The hero smirks proudly. As you can see, there are over 100 heroes in this dungeon. The boss here is the Minotaur Lauderen, and the second in command is Gobzo. They're both notoriously vicious. And the hero's voice suddenly chokes up. Our current predicament is all thanks to that demon Rachel. Il is shocked. Rachel? Isn't that the goddess's name? Through the hero's explanation, he learns a hero's first stop should normally be in the city, but due to Rachel's negligence, they were teleported to the wrong place. But since beginner heroes have no real abilities, they're completely unable to resist. This is a hellish start. The next day, he truly tastes what hell is like. Not only does he have to work for the Demon King for free, but even worse, after a day's work ends, Gobzo uses Il as a mount. Let's go back, slaves. You short, fat little goblin. One day I'll slaughter you. After returning to the slave dungeon, Il is completely exhausted. But after resting for a moment, he suddenly remembers the goddess seemed to say that heroes have a status window privilege, so he quickly summons it. Looking it over, his stats seem higher than normal people, but considering he was previously the universe boxing champion, this doesn't seem abnormal. Endurance 31, but this statement immediately startles the hero next door. Amazing. You have 31 endurance at just level 1, but I'm still a slave. Il doesn't care, but the hero still thinks he's different. You'll definitely be able to escape this place and become a true hero. But faced with this encouragement, Il just wants to give up. When deep night arrives, he secretly gets up, planning to check the status window again to see if he's missed anything. After looking for a while, he actually discovers something. What are these hero points? He asked the hero earlier during the day, who said they didn't have this thing. Am I the only true hero? Just as Il lowers his head in thought, a sudden flash of light interrupts him. Long time no see, Mr. Hero. The visitor is none other than the goddess Rachel. Let this goddess tell you what hero points do. They're the key to creating the ultimate hero. But faced with this goddess kindly answering his questions, Il immediately becomes furious. I don't care about hero points or anything like that, but first I'm going to beat you up. A moment later, the goddess is beaten and begs for mercy. I'm sorry. I didn't know that just a little coffee spilled on the magic circle would cause your teleportation to go wrong. The higher gods discovered this, so they punished the goddess by making her Il's personal goddess until he defeats the Demon King. You're a triple S rank hero, so completing this task won't be difficult, but Il is completely uninterested. Rather than defeating the Demon King or whatever, he'd rather stay here and live an ordinary life, because in his previous life, as the universe boxing champion, he fought his entire life and still died single. I'm tired of a life of fighting and killing. The goddess is instantly stunned because as long as the mission isn't completed, she can never return to her original world, just as she wants to continue persuading him. A sound suddenly comes from outside the door, startling Il into quickly grabbing the goddess and signaling her to be quiet. Don't worry about me, I can use invisibility magic. After hearing this, Il releases the goddess and looks up toward the door. The visitor is the second in command, Gobzo. Mr. Lauderen wants to see you. After saying this, he brings Il to the office. The reason is because Gobzo said he got a new mount, Il, and that Il works very hard, which sparked Lauderen's curiosity. That short, fat little monster praised me like this. One day I'll slaughter you. Your hard work is good, so I want to appoint you as chief slave. Hearing this, the goddess is instantly stunned. This guy is actually competing with me for him. You'll refuse him, right? Quickly reject him firmly. A human hero must never bow down to the demon army. Of course. Il grins wickedly, then kneels on the the ground and kowtows loudly. "Thank you, sir. I won't disappoint your expectations." "Very good, I'm starting to like you." Lauderen nods with satisfaction. 3 days later, Il officially starts his new position. "Run faster! Run faster! My grandma runs faster than you. No leaving until you finish." He's very satisfied with his current position. Ha 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 ha. Being slave supervisor is awesome. This scene stuns the people below. Has this guy lost his mind? I heard he used to be a human hero, can you believe it? Il's behavior is too much even for the goddess Rachel watching nearby. Are you crazy? If this continues, we'll be in big trouble. But Il ignores her after hearing this. "You little sparrow have no idea about my plan." You, what are you doing on the ground? Are you trying to be a turtle? Get up and work now." After squeezing the slaves, he doesn't forget to salute toward Lauderen's office. "Thank you, sir. I'll work hard." This scene completely infuriates the goddess, and she starts constantly repeating what a hero should do beside him, until Il's ears are about to develop calluses. So he quickly opens the hero panel. "Due to an idiot's mistake, you were teleported to the Demon King's dungeon. Current mission, gain the favor of Demon Army Officer Lauderen." I'm just following the hero's mission, understand? But the goddess refuses to believe it no matter what. And even after returning to the slave dungeon, she still thinks he's lying to her. Il can't take it anymore and grabs the goddess. "Who do you think is the idiot responsible for me being locked up here?" After being warned, the goddess quiets down considerably, and even stops nagging during work. Is that really his mission? Only higher-ups have the authority to change mission content. So why would they do this? While the goddess is thinking, Gobzo arrives on the scene. "Mr. Lauderen wants to see you." After receiving the order, Il happily comes to the office, and after 2 days of work, Il's efforts finally earn the commander's approval. "Well done, young man." Seeing the other's blushing face, Il can't help but gasp, so he quickly takes advantage before Lauderen does anything strange, and immediately salutes. "Sir, can you let me train the slaves? I'm determined to build you an elite work team where one person can do the work of 3. That way, the Demon King's castle will be built within a week." At first, Lauderen doesn't agree because human bodies are too weak to train and work simultaneously. But considering the person proposing this plan is him, Lauderen happily agrees. "Thank you, sir." Having gained approval, Il quickly runs back to the slave dungeon. But just as he arrives, the goddess Rachel immediately bursts into tears. "My hero must have gone mad. Not only does he bow down to the demon army, but he's even helping them oppress his own people. How can I live with this?" The crying and commotion quickly irritates Il, and he can only helplessly reveal his plan. "Listen, I have no intention of being an enemy to humans. I'm just planning to use the slaves to start a rebellion." Il has calculated that this castle has a full 3,000 slaves, while the demon soldiers number only 500. And not far from here is a human base, which will be a good place to go after escaping. Il speaks so logically that even the goddess who never believed in him shows admiration. "It seems my Mr. Hero isn't just a muscle-headed fool." Because he completed the mission to gain Lauderen's favor, Il receives 100 hero points. "Let me see what treasures the hero shop has." Saying this, he impatiently opens the shop, but the things inside instantly shock him. F-rank skill, hold breath, skill description, allows the hero to hold their breath. He thought this skill was absurd enough, but as he continues scrolling, he realizes he was too conservative. F-rank item, dog feces. Item description, please take it. Seeing this, the goddess can't help but laugh. "Don't be discouraged, this is just a level 1 shop. If you can upgrade it to level 2, you'll get better things, like larger portions of feces." Stop right there. This is what you said would make me the ultimate hero? Il officially begins training the slaves. The next day, first, let's recite our 3rd Legion motto. Begin. We are the great demon army. Let us defeat the humans. Sing our praises. Lauderen in the tower takes in all of this. Very good. It seems the young man hasn't disappointed me. But just as he's feeling proud, the second-in-command Gobzo rushes in frantically. "This is bad. The human army is advancing this way. The 8th division fighting them has already fallen. It's only a matter of time before they reach us." Abandoning this nearly completed fortress makes Lauderen very reluctant, but he can't withstand Gobzo's firm attitude. "We must retreat immediately." After hearing this, Lauderen looks downstairs. He knows well that since ancient times, the purpose of war has been to plunder wealth. And for Lauderen, the most precious treasure here is none other than Il. "You retreat first, I'll follow with Il later." After saying this, he kicks open the window. And this scene happens to be seen by Il. Looks like today's combat training can't proceed. That guy has been monitoring from behind. At this moment, Lauderen suddenly lands behind Il, and gently turns his body. "Listen, Il, there's no time, we must retreat." "Wait, where to?" Il is confused. However, as they argue, the human army has already arrived on the scene. Charge. With the commander's order, the war between humans and demons breaks out. But soon, the commander spots Lauderen standing to the side. The Red Nightmare is there, make killing him the top priority. Il quickly realizes what's happening. The human army is attacking. Maybe this is a good opportunity. If I just stab Lauderen in the back, I can return to human society as a hero. Just as Il is thinking about how to act, a human knight charges over at extreme speed. But Lauderen simply reaches out and directly crushes the opponent's solid skull. However, something even more terrifying follows. As he grabs the knight and slams him heavily into the ground, the devastating strike immediately spreads across the field, defeating nearly all the humans on sight. And the first thing he does after finishing is gently turn his head to look at Il. "Are you okay?" Frightened, Il immediately salutes. "Sir, I'm fine. I'll retreat right away. Although Lauderen single-handedly defeated an entire human squad due to pressure from reinforcements, they still choose to retreat. My adventure is over. My second life is over. Il is stunned. He never expected this guy to be so strong that with just one strike, he shattered his dream of returning to human society. Look on the bright side. Going to Demon Army headquarters is a chance to learn about their military strength, right? Shut up, you liar. Il will never believe this so-called goddess's nonsense again. But their argument wakes the sleeping Lauderen. Did you say something? I was asleep and didn't hear. Il quickly waves his hand in denial. No, I was saying how honored I am to be with you, sir. After hearing this, Lauderen's face reddens slightly, and a strange thought forms in his mind. When we reach headquarters, I'll officially recommend you join the Demon Army. Il is instantly petrified. This means his future escape is basically hopeless. It's my honor. 5 hours later, the convoy arrives at Demon Army headquarters, and the first thing after getting off, Lauderen prepares to bring Il to meet the commander. Although he knows this is somewhat improper, he firmly believes the commander will also like this young man. But you need to watch your words a bit, otherwise, you might die. Soon, the two arrive outside the hall. Commander Hermes, it's me, Lauderen. As his words fall, a gentle female voice immediately comes from inside. Come in. Having gained permission, Lauderen enters the hall and generously takes responsibility for losing the fortress. But Hermes doesn't think so. She believes it's the supply officer's fault. If it weren't for the material shortage, the castle might have been completed already. I'll prepare a body bag for him. While speaking, Hermes' body instantly releases a terrifying aura that directly causes Il to be unable to breathe, and even his limbs instinctively start to feel fear. What is this oppressive feeling? It's stronger than anyone I've encountered before. After a while, Hermes withdraws her aura and notices Il beside them, so she asks Lauderen who he is. This is the person I told you about before, Il. I brought him to join the Demon Army. After hearing this, Hermes instantly flashes in front of Il. She first shows strong interest in the talent Lauderen recommended, but also raises a concern. He has a human body. He might very well get eaten here. Get eaten? Il is instantly shocked and looks at Lauderen like he's a lifeline. With me here, you don't need to worry. I'll personally train you and make you strong enough. But this proposal is flatly rejected by Hermes because she thinks it's obviously not worth it for a high-ranking officer like Lauderen to train a human. So she puts her hand into her mouth and vigorously rummages around. Then her body starts twisting crazily. Finally, she spits out a strange creature from the top of her head. From today on, you're my pet guardian. His name is Popo. Isn't he cute? Cute? Cute my foot. Il just wants to stay far away from this thing. But under pressure from Hermes, he ultimately can only choose to compromise. It's my honor to care for Popo. Very good. Hermes says this and tosses the dog over, then tells Il some good news. Don't forget to feed him. When he's hungry, he gets angry, and when angry, he likes to eat his guardian. Just like that, Il successfully joins the Demon Army and simultaneously receives a hero mission, the content of which is to win Popo's love. Il turns to look at the sleeping Popo. What the heck does this have to do with me becoming a hero? Just as he's thinking, the room door is suddenly pushed open, and a balding goblin walks in. His partner in caring for Popo. Il first shows goodwill toward the other, but at the same time, he understands that if there's danger, the other will definitely use him as food first. You and I need to go prepare Popo's dinner now. The balding goblin states the work in a commanding tone. If you understand, you can now. Before he finishes speaking, Popo has already woken up. Frightened, the balding goblin immediately hides behind Il. This newcomer is the food prepared for you. Saying this, he tries to restrain Il to make it easier for Popo to eat. One of us has to die anyway, so why shouldn't it be you? But the balding goblin ultimately underestimates Il's strength and is instantly thrown away. Snack time! A moment later, the sounds of Popo chewing and swallowing stop. But after eating, he's still not full, so the goddess Rachel becomes his target. Save me! Quickly save me! As they run, Popo's anger grows higher and higher, even treating Il as food. Quick! Think of a way to calm down an angry dog. Got it. Il has a flash of inspiration. Absolutely no dog can be indifferent to these words. Go outside and play. Hearing this, Popo's eyes immediately become clear. Then he pounces into his arms. Just as I thought. Soon, Il brings Popo outside, but they don't know where the kitchen is. But just as they're wandering around, a goblin unexpectedly appears before them. So Il quickly calls out to him, "Hey there, where's the kitchen?" Kitchen? The kitchen is on the right. After saying this, the goblin runs off without looking back. This scene makes Il laugh out loud. Are all the Demon Army people this timid? Looks like I can rely on the dog's power from now on. However, just as he's feeling proud, he turns his head to find that Popo has already disappeared. Oh no, where did the dog go? So the two frantically search. But fortunately, hard work pays off, and soon they see Popo again. My precious, do you know how worried I was? Il looks down and seems to notice something wrong. Did you just bite someone to death? Just as Il is shocked, a loud shout comes from not far away. Captain Regis has been eaten. I'm guessing it was Popo. Rachel's smile instantly freezes. Who else could it be? Il quickly grabs Popo and runs, and the goblins quickly follow. Unfortunately, their short legs can't catch up with Il. However, by unfortunate coincidence, Il and the others actually run straight into a dead end. Turning around, a large group of goblins has already surrounded them. The human who killed the captain will take you down too. Another goblin licks his lips. I hope our captain hasn't been digested yet. I've always wanted to taste what the captain tastes like. Faced with this almost desperate situation, Il suddenly has a flash of inspiration. He thinks he might be able to intimidate them. How dare you be so rude? Saying this, Il suddenly shakes Popo in his arms. Do you know who he is? He's Popo. As his words fall, the goblins on site almost instinctively step back. They all know well how terrifying Hermes is. Commander Hermes is pet, but there's also one who's not afraid of death, suspecting this human is lying to them. So Il crouches down and strokes Popo's chin a few times. Beast mode activated. As soon as he releases his hand, Popo immediately pounces on that goblin. That's what you get for not believing. In just 15 seconds, Popo has already eaten him clean. Anyone else who doesn't believe? No. The remaining goblins bow in submission. But at the same time, Hermes' voice suddenly comes from behind Il. I wondered why it was so noisy here. Turns out it's a cute newcomer doing something interesting. Afterwards, he's called to the office. After learning the ins and outs of this matter, Hermes laughs out loud. So you're using my and Popo's identity to survive? Seeing this, Il immediately kneels to admit his mistake. But Hermes actually thinks there's nothing wrong with doing this. I suppose you're still a human after all, and quite clever at that. Hermes says this while lifting Il's chin. But you're a man. You should learn our demon army's tradition, which is to solve things with force. Hermes returns to her seat, then asks Il a question. Are you interested in becoming a senior officer of our demon army? Il is instantly stunned. With his meager skills, the only way to become an officer would be to sell himself out. I know it's difficult with your current strength. Hermes explains the rules to him. Demons can seize someone's rank through dueling. You can no longer use my and Popo's names. I know this is difficult, so I'll protect you for 1 month. After 1 month, you must defeat the opponent I choose for you. If you win, I'll continue protecting you for another month until you climb to the position of battalion commander. Il can't help but swallow. What if I lose? Hermes grins wickedly. If possible, you'd better die in battle. Il has no choice and can only agree with Hermes. She even set my opponent right there on the spot. Looks like I only have 30 days left to live. Il dejectedly comes outside the kitchen, planning to find something for Popo to eat. But after arriving at the door, he discovers the door is covered in blood. Therefore, Il only dares to stick his head in, ready to escape at any time. Hello, sorry to disturb. As soon as the words fall, a red goblin turns his head. He's the head chef, Kulkin. You must be the human the commander mentioned. Il quickly nods with a smile and explains his purpose, which is to get some food for Popo. Unexpectedly, the other doesn't even think before saying there isn't any. This instantly shocks Il. I have no obligation to help you. Commander Hermes' only order is that we can't touch you. If you want meat, then like us, go participate in the hunt yourself. Saying this, he points to a group of goblins behind him, who are dismembering goblins, while gleefully eating. Is this Captain Puck's meat? It tastes pretty good. Seeing this scene, Il is instantly stunned. These people aren't cooks, they're demons. But to avoid becoming Popo's food, he still chooses to go hunting outside with this group of goblins. Unexpectedly, just the first hunt, Il encounters deadly danger. But fortunately, there's a group of goblins in front who block this attack for him. Looking at the not quite dead creature in front of him, Il is stunned. Who's actually hunting whom here? At this moment, Rachel suddenly makes a suggestion, which is to escape while they can. Il agrees with this choice because he feels staying here will lead to trouble sooner or later. But just as he lifts his foot, Kulkan immediately calls out to him. I'll lead the charge. No need. Kulkan glances at him because the hunt is already complete. This greatly surprises Il. He was only stunned for a dozen seconds, yet they've already killed this massive creature. But despite this, the goblins still paid a heavy price. 13 dead and 25 seriously injured to end this hunt. But Kulkan shows no sadness about such heavy casualties, and is instead very satisfied with this result. Let the team rest for a moment and prepare for the next hunt. After thinking for a while, Il suddenly abandons the idea of escaping. Really, my Mr. Hero, are you really going to hunt monsters with them? No, I don't need to do that. Il has thought it through. As long as he participates in the kills here, he can gain experience and level up. Even if he just lightly punches the monster, as long as the final blow is his, he can get all the experience. So I don't need to try hard. Rachel is instantly stunned after hearing this. Is this guy really a genius? But you're taking shortcuts. She doesn't want her hero to be this kind of person. But Il has made up his mind. I must become strong enough within this 1 month. After saying this, he comes before Kulkan, and the other seems to see through his intention to escape at a glance. Human, I didn't expect you'd come back. I've been here all along. Il quickly plays dumb. Then he expresses his desire to participate in the hunt. You human. Kulkan doesn't immediately state his decision, but instead stares at him intently. This makes Il's heart race. The previous officers liked my humble attitude. Is this guy different? But it turns out he's overthinking. The next second, Kulkan laughs out loud. A human actually says such brave words, how cute. Il scratches his head. It's all because of your influence, chef. Dizzy from the flattery, Kulkin makes another decision, which is to let Il lead the team to hunt monsters. This instantly stuns Il. He just wanted to hang back and leech experience. No, how can a humble human like me stand before the noble demons? It will make them unhappy. Just as they're arguing, a panicked goblin suddenly runs over from not far away. He immediately explains the situation to Kulkin. A pack of wild wolves is attacking. In stark contrast to the goblin's situation, Kulkin appears very calm. He grips the cleaver behind him. More good meat to eat. Little ones, let's go. Perfect, Il grins slyly. I just need to time it right and land the final blow. I'll help you too, Mr. Hero, Rachel says nearby and immediately uses magic. This greatly enhances Il's physical strength, though it only lasts 3 minutes. She thought this would earn praise, but instead is met with a sandbag-sized fist. You have this and didn't use it earlier. With the enhancement, Il's confidence surges. They're just 5 black wolves. Then he suddenly leaps up and punches a dying black wolf on the ground. Level up, level up. Unexpectedly, after stealing 1 kill, he directly gains 4 whole levels. But just as Il is overjoyed, he suddenly sees a goblin nearby trying to finish off another. So he pushes the other away. Sorry, my foot slipped. Looking at the black wolves lying on the ground, Il greedily licks his lips. All the final blows are mine. Under his leadership, the 5 black wolves are quickly eliminated. Il intends to leave right away, but unexpectedly at this moment, Kulkin calls him back and tells him it's time to enjoy the feast. This is the chef's privilege, to enjoy the freshest delicacies. With that, he hands Il a piece of meat. As someone who contributed, perhaps you should try some too. Looking at the bleeding raw meat before him, Il feels deeply resistant, but doesn't dare refuse this kind gesture, so he forces himself to take a bite. The meat itself is fine, but eating it plain and raw doesn't taste good at all. As Il chews, inspiration suddenly strikes. If he can make more delicious food, perhaps he can use it to control them. So Il doesn't hesitate any longer and immediately purchases a bottle of MSG from the hero shop. This triggers strong disapproval from the goddess Rachel, as she believes something as precious as hero points shouldn't be wasted on trivial items like seasoning. Even if they think it tastes good, it won't make any difference. You need to see the bigger picture. Il ignores her opinion and instead picks up a piece of meat and starts grilling it, intending to silence Rachel with results. Just watch. With this method, even a shoe insole would taste incredible. The moment he sprinkles seasoning on the tender medium rare grilled meat, an intensely rich aroma bursts forth. I am the culinary god of this world. Il is extremely satisfied with his creation. Once it's done, he immediately brings it to head chef Kulkin, as freshly grilled meat is the most tempting. But Kulkin only glances at it and politely declines right away. Thanks, but I'm already full. Faced with this situation, Il doesn't give up. This is my ultimate creation. If you would honor me by trying it, I'd have no regrets even if I died right now. Under his repeated pleading, Kulkin finally softens, takes the grilled meat, and bites into it. But unexpectedly, this single bite instantly transports him back to his childhood. It's the taste of my mother. Kulkin is extremely satisfied with the grilled meat. So to thank Il, he gives him a large bag of fresh meat in return. If you need anything, feel free to come find me again. Il carries the fresh meat back to his quarters. Popo, I'm back! But unexpectedly, as soon as the words leave his mouth, Popo lunges at him with jaws wide open. In desperation, Il quickly pulls out the fresh meat from the bag, finally managing to satisfy Popo's appetite. Buddy, eat as much as you want. With a source of food secured, Il no longer has to worry about becoming Popo's meal, and completely becomes his master instead. After devouring 30 pounds of fresh meat, Popo's affection for Il greatly increases. Congratulations on completing the quest. You've successfully gained Popo's favor. Reward, 200 hero points. Completing the quest greatly boosts Il's confidence. Excellent. This went exactly as I planned. He immediately opens his status panel. But Rachel, watching from the side, is instantly stunned. Are you planning to save those 22 free attribute points for your next life or something? That's because a certain idiot didn't tell me what these things are for. Il immediately retorts, successfully silencing Rachel, since as his personal goddess, she has the duty to educate Il about everything in this world. Alright, Rachel says and immediately begins explaining. Attributes are divided into 4 categories: strength, agility, stamina, and magic power. Wait, Il immediately interrupts her, because he sees a 5th category, charm. That one's different. Through Rachel's explanation, he learns that charm is a hidden attribute that can't be obtained through vacation, only improved through training. However, from what I can see, Il's charm toward male monsters is actually quite high. Rachel continues explaining. Physical attributes are more important in the early stages, but it's completely different in the late game, when magic power becomes dominant. Il follows the advice and allocates most of his points to physical attributes. Now you can go to the hero shop and purchase basic principles of magic control. Rachel continues her tutorial. It will teach you how to control magic power, and it only costs about 100 hero points. But Il searches through the hero shop again and again, yet can't find this so-called magic control guide anywhere. How is that possible? I remember it being one of the most common items in the hero shop. Rachel looks completely confused. Il lets out a deep sigh. He thought his personal goddess might finally be useful, but it seems he was overthinking it. No, I swear it's in there. 3 weeks quickly pass this way. During this time, Il finally reaches level 100. This took longer than I expected. I must be the hardest working hero in this world. The prolonged intense work leaves leaves him in agony. What are you talking about? Aren't you basically idle now? Idle? This word instantly enrages Il, and he slaps Rachel to the ground. Do you know how many times I almost died? But normally it takes half a year to reach level 100. I was just trying to be nice, no offense intended. Rachel looks wronged. You brought this on yourself! But just as the two are bickering, the door outside suddenly bursts open, and a goblin rushes in frantically. Beast Tamer Il, the commander demands to see you. Receiving the order, Il doesn't dare delay, and quickly arrives at Hermes' office. His physical transformation amazes even Hermes. In less than a month, Il's physique has visibly grown so much stronger, and his magic power has even doubled. That's all from working hard to find food for Popo. Il quickly makes an excuse, trying to brush it off. But this doesn't escape Hermes' sharp eyes. Is it because of the hero system? Il immediately breaks into a cold sweat. Does she know I'm a hero? Hermes stands up. She tells Il that from the very first time they met, she saw through everything. The reason she didn't say anything was because he's deeply favored by Lauderen, and now there's one more reason not to kill him, which is the duel in a few days. Yes, Hermes nods. Then suddenly a terrifying aura erupts from her body and she transforms into her true form and lunges at Il, but when they're less than half a meter apart, she immediately stops. If you don't want to die, work hard and try to make me happy, okay? After saying this, Hermes sends Il back to his quarters. What exactly will excite the audience? Flashy performances or overwhelming domination? Il keeps pondering this question because if he can't satisfy Hermes, he's dead. What do we do? What do we do? We're going to die. Rachel performs as consistently useless as ever, offering absolutely no help. Let me think. Il opens the hero shop, believing that knowing yourself and your enemy leads to victory. However, aside from the opponent's name, they know absolutely nothing else. Perfect. This is it. Il doesn't hesitate to purchase an item, a power gauge, which can help him measure the opponent's combat power. Il points the power gauge at Rachel, and it shows a combat power of 375, without a reference point. He doesn't know what level this combat power represents. Then let me check yours, Rachel suggests. She then stands behind the power gauge and points it at Il, and the bizarre number instantly stuns her. This power gauge must be broken, right? How could you possibly be stronger than me? Because it shows that Il's combat power is a staggering 1,560. What's so surprising about that? Anyone can see you're the weakest one here, Il says as he takes back the power gauge. Rachel tears up, because before being sent to this other world, her power was over 10,000. To confirm the power gauge is working properly, Il turns to look at Popo. Let me see what this little guy's power level is. Holy crap. The moment he sees the number, Il is stunned. 47,400? I can't believe we're both weaker than a dog. Are we sure this is even a purebred? After thinking for a moment, Il decides to take the power gauge outside to check other people's levels. The weakest are the young goblins, while most others are roughly at his level. But those with commander ranks all have combat power exceeding 10,000. You said my opponent is a platoon leader, right? Rachel nods. His name is Iskulkin. I heard he's a half-orc with a pig's head. If he's just a platoon leader, Il estimates his combat power should be around 3,000. If I level up now, I should still be able to handle him. But while the ideal is promising, reality strikes him hard. When Il sees the opponent's combat power, he's instantly shocked into a cold sweat. The guy has over 6,000 combat power. Fighting him would be suicide. While Il is still in shock, the hero system suddenly pops up. Your chance of beating that pig is virtually zero. However, not giving up in desperate situations is your strength, which is why I'm giving you this chance. Increase your combat power to 3,000 within 1 week. Reward, 300 hero points. This quest appears at just the right time. Il grins. Alright, no matter what, I'm doing this. Whether it's the Observer or Hermes, just wait for me. I will survive to the end. The next morning, Il returns to the kitchen, where Kulkan is present. Looking at Il's power gauge, he can't help but ask, that's a nice fashion accessory. Where'd you get it? Il scratches his head. I saw others had one, so I bought myself one too. Kulkan turns away. He doesn't understand young people's fashion sense these days, so he tells Il to get ready for hunting. Yes, sir. While Kulkan's back is turned, Il quickly checks him with the power gauge. Over 35,000. This isn't the level of an ordinary commander. No, it's not just him. Il quickly scans everyone in the kitchen, and their combat power is all significantly higher than ordinary soldiers. Is this what comes from constantly fighting monsters? Looking at this situation, an idea suddenly forms in Il's mind. If he finds someone here with similar combat power to spar with, wouldn't that let him know his actual level? Commander Kulkan, please allow me to spar with one of the kitchen staff. Spar? Kulkan is taken aback. Yes, I think this kind of training will be more helpful for my future. Kulkan looks serious. He feels that Il, as a human, is already strong enough and doesn't need to rush his training. Il shows a disappointed expression. What a shame. I brought some meat to grill as thanks today, but I guess we'll have to eat it another time. Il pretends to put the meat from his backpack away. Kulkan grabs Il. Let's start right now. Who do you want to fight? Preparations for the sparring match quickly begin. Il chooses a beastman named Gorbakum as his opponent. The reason for choosing Gorbakum instead of other kitchen soldiers is simple. First, he's the same type of beastman as Kulkin, and Gorbakum appears to be the dumbest among the kitchen soldiers. However, his combat power is 2,500, almost double Il's. To be honest, he doesn't think he can win. But I must win. This beastman before me is much weaker than Kulkan. If I can't even beat him, I'll have no chance against Kulkan. What's going on? Don't we need to go hunting? Il and Gorbakum are going to spar? The kitchen soldiers gather around after hearing the news. Spar? What's that? Fight? How do you not understand? You mean kill each other? Does that mean Il will die? The slow-witted kitchen soldiers discuss seriously. If Il dies, who's going to grill the meat? We can't survive without meat. Let's kill Gorbakum first. That's a great idea. Just as the unfortunate kitchen soldier Gorbakum's death sentence is about to be declared, Kulkin steps in to mediate. Shut up, you fools. Sparring isn't killing, it's just testing each other's strength. The kitchen soldiers murmur under Kulkin's explanation. Is it arm wrestling? Maybe tug of war? Kulkin decides to ignore these fools. Listen up, Gorbakum. He just needs to make sure Gorbakum, Il's sparring partner, understands the situation. You absolutely cannot kill Il. You can fight, but hold back, understand? Got it. Gorbakum answers with a stupid expression, casually scratching his head with vacant eyes, looking completely unreliable. But don't hold back too much either. Just hurt him enough so he really feels it, understand? Understood. It'd be best if you don't break anything. Sparring is really tricky. After this is over, I'll give you more meat, so do your best. Upon hearing the word meat, Gorbakum's eyes instantly light up. Leave it to me, head chef. Gorbakum suddenly speaks fluently and steps forward. Il, let's begin our sparring match. Alright, please go easy on me. Gorbakum and Il stand facing each other, maintaining a certain distance. Kulkin serves as referee and raises his arm. Ready, begin. As Kulkin's arm drops, the match begins. Gorbakum assumes his stance. I don't want to hurt him too much. Il is the one who grills meat. Don't want to harm him. Il charges at Gorbakum at full speed from the start. Gorbakum raises his arm, but even a gentle strike is enough to crush his face. However, unexpectedly, Gorbakum's fist doesn't hit Il. It only cuts through empty air. At the same time, he sees Il's leg strike and seems to hear the wind slicing through the air. Big shoo. The mud-covered soul grows larger and larger. I'm going to get hit. That is Gorbakum's last memory. Unsurprisingly, Gorbakum is defeated by Il with just one kick. 2 hours later, the 3rd Legion arrives at the forest behind headquarters. Although no monsters have appeared yet, Il is already in an unusually excited state. To be honest, he didn't expect to win, but he knocked down a beastman with twice his combat power in one strike. So now he knows that combat power doesn't determine everything, and he stands a fighting chance against Iskulkin. Of course, Iskulkin is much stronger than today's Gorbakum, possessing power that truly deserves to be called monstrous. A large number of young Taras have appeared ahead. Finally, the news Il has been waiting for arrives. Really? So this area is Taras territory? Kulkan is puzzled. This is a bit strange. This region normally doesn't have Taras populations. This makes the usually decisive Kulkan somewhat hesitant. Il approaches him. Is there a problem? Is Taras meat not tasty? No, Taras meat is quite delicious, especially that chewy Taras bone marrow. It's an absolute delicacy. But Taras are social creatures. If we're not careful, they might swarm out in groups, especially the mother Taras, the Taras queen, who has strong maternal instincts. If we provoke her children, it'll be very troublesome. So can we call it a day now? Il scratches his head and laughs. No, since Taras meat is delicious, we still need to capture them, Kulkan says calmly. Anyway, the Taras queen rarely appears outside her nest, so it should be fine. He raises his giant cleaver. Everyone charge! Today's snack is Taras bone marrow. The kitchen soldiers sound the battle cry and begin charging. Be careful, capture them alive. Their bodily fluids are the essence. As the kitchen soldiers begin fighting, Il starts his performance. He accidentally knocks a soldier away, then steals the final blow on monsters. The final blow is mine. I need to level up. Il kicks down one after another, his level continuously rising. You're really good at kill stealing, hero. Of course, Il laughs happily. At this rate, he'll definitely surpass Iskulkin soon. But at this moment, the ground suddenly begins shaking with tremendous noise. What's going on? Il looks around in confusion. The kitchen soldiers are equally shocked. But soon, the culprit behind the tremors quietly reveals itself. It's the Taras queen. Her massive body nearly darkens the sky itself. Looking at the pile of young Taras corpses on the ground, the queen's body trembles with rage. She wants to make this group pay with their lives immediately. Il raises his head to look. He wants to know just how much combat power this queen, whom even Kulkin fears, possesses. But just as Il points the power gauge at her, the power gauge immediately sounds an alarm. Immeasurable! Immeasurable! Kulkin, what should we do now? Il turns his head, only to see Kulkin's fleeing back. Everyone, may fate bring us together again. Try to stay alive. Il is stunned. What the hell, that irresponsible bastard. In this tense moment, the Taras queen's legs shoot toward everyone like bullets. A large group of goblins who don't react in time are instantly killed. But the queen still isn't satisfied, and she releases a roar that echoes through the heavens, nearly shattering Il's eardrums. Why is this thing making such a weird noise? But before he can figure it out, Rachel's voice suddenly sounds in his ear. Hero, look behind you. Alerted, Il turns his head and sees a shocking sight. Countless young Taras are swarming toward him. Run! Il has no choice but to flee with the main group. Those who run too slowly are instantly killed by the queen. Save me! Anguished screams spread through the crowd. But Il can't worry about that. He knows if he stops, he's as good as dead. He doesn't want to die. After running for 10 minutes, Il quickly reaches a cave. Should be safe hiding in here, right? Rachel nods. Safe. I checked. There are no monsters inside. Although Il doesn't trust her words, inside should at least be safer than out in the open. So after thinking for a moment, he enters anyway. This cave is deep and spacious, as if naturally formed. Doesn't that mean the Taurus Queen can squeeze in here too? Rachel's words instantly freeze Il. He quickly scans the surroundings and discovers a puddle of green slime on the rocks. This can't be left by Terras, can it? But Kulkan said there are no Terras around here. So they continue deeper inside, only to discover an even more terrifying sight. The depths of the cave are covered with countless Terras eggs. Is this the Terras Queen's nest? Il looks at everything before him in disbelief. We can't stay here. However, while he's in a daze, a Taurus's spike rapidly strikes at him. Il dodges to the side. Why is there an adult Taurus here too? With no time to think, he randomly picks a direction and starts running. Are you sure this direction is the exit? Il doesn't answer Rachel, just keeps running. But soon, he's tripped by an unknown object. In desperation, Il randomly grabs an egg from the ground as a weapon. He throws it at the Terrace with all his might, and unsurprisingly, it catches it. But the Terrace holds the egg very carefully, as if afraid to break it. What's going on? Il looks at the Terrace, which has stopped attacking. Is it trying to protect that egg? Rachel is silent for a few seconds. I think it likes the thing you threw. There's slime all over it. Il turns to look at the eggs on the ground, and an idea suddenly forms in his mind. Could these be Terrace eggs? Il grins, then picks up another egg. This action instantly makes the Terrace tense up. He then assumes a throwing stance, deliberately throwing it away from the creature, but the doting adult Terrace still catches it. What terrifying speed! What should we do next? Il smirks, isn't it obvious? I've got over 100 eggs here. Over 10 minutes later, the adult Terrace is exhausted and panting. But despite this, most of the eggs couldn't be saved. Come on, give me the next egg. Il extends his hand to Rachel. That was the last one. Upon hearing this news, Il is instantly stunned. This is bad. The enraged adult Terrace no longer holds back, and immediately charges at extreme speed. Buff me! Quick, buff me! Rachel complies, and Il's arm glows with blue light. That thing has become weak from catching eggs, so I can win. Il raises his fist and strikes with all his might. The moment they connect, the Terrace's shell instantly shatters in half, revealing pure white bone. I won! Il looks at himself in disbelief. Hero, are you okay? The moment the buff disappears, Il feels like his body is about to collapse. It really hurts. Wait, I can cast a healing spell, Rachel says as her hands emit dazzling light, and Il's twisted wounds slowly begin to heal. After his wounds are healed, he immediately allocates all the attribute points from leveling up. But the next second, a familiar voice comes from deep within the cave. Il looks up in surprise, and it's Kulkan. You're still alive too? Of course. Il feels speechless thinking about how he fled. How did you end up here? I found this cave while escaping. I think we're both very lucky. Kulkan laughs happily. However, at this moment, Il tells him this is the Terrace nest. Those are all Terrace eggs. This place is their hatchery. Kulkan stares at the eggs with burning eyes without responding. These soft eggs are top-tier ingredients. Most people die without ever tasting them. We need to run now! Il can't help but curse. Kulkan takes an egg and puts it in his mouth. The Terrace Queen chasing me has probably already come in. To defeat her, we'd need at least a command regiment's worth of forces. So come enjoy this last supper. While the two are arguing, footsteps suddenly sound from outside, and it's the kitchen soldiers. Is this really my last meal? Il refuses to accept it, because he doesn't even have a wife in this other world yet. My life can't end like this. Meanwhile, in Commander Hermes' office, she summons Lauderen. No need for such formal procedures. How's the task I gave you going? As you ordered, I successfully captured the next Saintess. I knew it. I knew you could do it. In just about 3 weeks, Lauderen successfully captured the Holy Empire's elected Saintess. Well done. Hermes pats Lauderen's head. But at this moment, the room's door is suddenly pushed open. Commander, I have an urgent report. The kitchen staff reported an accident while gathering ingredients. Doesn't that happen every day? What's so surprising about it? Hermes purses her lips. But the scale of casualties this time is quite large. They encountered the Taurus Queen. Most of the kitchen staff, including head chef Kulkan, are either dead or missing. Hermes strokes her chin thoughtfully. What about Il? He's also missing. Listening to the conversation, Lauderen freezes, shocked. Il is missing too. Meanwhile, inside the cave, Kulkan and the kitchen staff are all absorbed in the world of eating eggs. Il sighs deeply, then smashes a book hard at Kulkan. The intense pain immediately snaps him awake. What are you doing? You seem to be under some mysterious curse, so I use this method to wake you up. Il makes up an excuse on the spot, but actually he just doesn't want to see Kulkan so dejected. As for the book in his hand, it's the Beast Encyclopedia that Il exchanged for 50 hero points in the shop. It contains information on nearly all demon beasts, including Terras. It reads, they are spider-type demon beasts, social creatures with highly developed leg muscles. To defeat Terras, you must target their relatively weak points, especially the torso and head. Terras bodily fluids are highly flammable. Their eggs contain a bomb-like flammable liquid. Caves built with terrace saliva also have weak resistance to flames, so be careful not to use fire magic inside. After reviewing the terrace's weaknesses, Il closes the book. Kulkan, can you use fire magic? Kulkan turns his head. A little bit of the basics, like shooting fireballs. He sighs. Give it up. Terrace shells can't be burned through by my level of flames. Il rolls his eyes at him, because his plan isn't to burn the terrace at all. Everyone listen up. I have an escape plan. A goblin chef sighs. Futile struggle. Better to just stay here and keep eating eggs. Facing this situation, Il doesn't give up and continues encouraging them. If we successfully escape, not only will there be terrace eggs to eat, but I'll also provide unlimited deluxe grilled meat meals. Thinking of the delicious grilled meat finally rekindles everyone's interest. Let's start now. Even Kulkan immediately calls out to Il, drooling, what's our plan? A few seconds later, he announces his plan. What we need to do is just keep running toward the exit. No matter what happens, we're not allowed to stop. Move out. As soon as the words leave his mouth, Il takes the lead and runs ahead, with everyone following close behind. But unfortunately, they only run a short distance before encountering a large group of adult Taras. Kulkan, get ready! Il holds 2 eggs in his hands, then throws them forcefully at the wall beside them. Kulkan simultaneously launches fire magic. The moment the terrace egg fluid contacts the flames, a violent explosion occurs. The shockwave nearly destroys the entire cave. To protect the remaining eggs, the adult Taras have no choice but to abandon pursuing Il and put out the fire first. While they're distracted, run quickly. Although everyone keeps running, the complex terrain makes it difficult to find the exit. Only 1 egg left. We must find the exit before it's used up, Il shouts. Rachel suddenly spots light in the distance. Over there, there's light, it's the exit. Dodging the relentless attacks of the adult Taras, Il runs in that direction. Soon they get closer and closer to the light. We're almost out. But just as they're about to reach the exit, Il stops in shock, because what appears before them is none other than the massive Taras Queen. She single-handedly blocks the entire cave exit. We're finished. The Taras Queen has returned. Although her expression is extremely enraged, the Taras Queen doesn't actively attack them. He guesses this might be related to the egg in his hand, as Taras are creatures with extremely strong maternal instincts. Without any hesitation, Il tears off a large piece of fabric from his sleeve and has Kulkan ignite it. Then he raises both items high. If this egg explodes, we'll all die here. But at the same time, the cave will collapse, and all your offspring will be buried with us. Il shouts, if you don't want this, then move aside and let us out. The Taras Queen flies into a rage upon hearing this. She wants to kill Il immediately, but her instinct to protect her offspring stops her. Not only does she refuse to back down, but she lets out an ear-piercing shriek that echoes through the sky. With no other choice, Il ignites the terrace egg. Then he hurls it violently into the cave. The terrace egg explodes violently the moment it hits the wall. The entire cave trembles non-stop. Don't tell me it's going to collapse. Watching the massive rocks continuously falling from above, Il immediately realizes the cave is about to collapse. Everyone, run outside. With that, Il quickly dashes toward the cave exit, but shortly after running out, he suddenly stops in his tracks, because at this moment, he actually hears the sound of himself leveling up. Rachel looks confused and tries to pull him outside, but she can't budge him at all. As the cave continues collapsing, level up notifications keep ringing out one after another. Il is completely stunned. Looks like all the Terras crushed to death here are giving me their experience points. Could it be because I collapsed the cave? Not daring to linger any longer, Il rushes outside. Escaping past the Taras Queen's blockade is no small challenge, though he has no choice. Fortunately, at this moment, Kulkan pulls out a precious terrace egg from his collection. Then he looks at it reluctantly. I'll use this egg to buy us a way out, but as soon as he finishes speaking, the Taras Queen's attack comes rushing in. Without any hesitation, Il slides right under the Queen and slips away. But just as he's about to escape, the Taras Queen spits out spider silk from her mouth, wrapping around Il's arm. This is bad! I'm going to die! However, at this moment, a deep crimson figure blocks his path. It's Lauderen. Are you alright? Il looks shocked. He doesn't understand why Lauderen is here. I knew you were still alive, Lauderen smirks. From now on, I'm taking over here. As he speaks, a terrifying power erupts from his body, directly shattering the Taras Queen. This scene leaves Il stunned in an instant. Holy crap, he's insanely powerful. The final result of this hunt was that 99 chefs went missing or died, including head chef Kulkan. After the battle ends, Il returns to Popo's room. Thank goodness for that bullhead, or we'd be dead for sure. Rachel lets out a relieved sigh after narrowly escaping death. But soon, Il delivers a reality check. Enjoy the moment while it lasts. We're about to be done for. My duel with Kulkan is starting soon. Rachel disagrees. Haven't you already grown a lot? You gained a full 75 levels from this cave collapse. Now Il has reached level 200, but he still only has 30,500 battle power, while his opponent has a full 6,000. But Il has thought about it. Victory in battle isn't just about battle power. His sparring match with Gorbakum was a perfect example. Rachel nods in agreement. Exactly. Fighting isn't just about raw strength, it's also about magic. If you want to beat an opponent of that level, you must learn how to use magic. But unfortunately, Il doesn't know how at all. Easy for you to say. However, Rachel says, changing her tone. You seem to have some experience using magic back at the Taurus hatchery. Her words leave Il puzzled. Did I use magic? Could it be back then? Just as Il is lost in thought, Lauderen pushes the door open, startling Il quite a bit. Sir, what brings you to our humble quarters? Lauderen explains his purpose. He wants to take Il to see Commander Hermes. Under Lauderen's guidance, the two quickly arrive at Hermes' office. What brings you here, Lauderen? You don't usually come see me on your own. Without any unnecessary chatter, Lauderen gets straight to the point. Commander, let me personally train Il. Kulken is a platoon leader, but I've recently discovered his strength actually makes him more suitable to be deputy battalion commander. Therefore, Lauderen feels this battle is extremely unfair to Il. Let me train Il. I can bring out his maximum potential. Il is completely stunned. Why would he do this? Then he silently prays in his heart that Hermes won't agree. But unexpectedly, Hermes agrees without even thinking. Thank you, sir. If you have nothing else, then leave. I still have matters to attend to. With no choice, Il has no opportunity to object. Thank you very much, my great commander. We'll take our leave. After they leave, Hermes smirks, because she discovered that in these short few days, Il's strength has actually doubled. It's quite interesting that a human can grow so fast, but this also troubles me a bit. If Lauderen helps him, then Kulkan might actually lose. I absolutely cannot let this happen. Hermes already has a perfect plan in mind. On the other side, Lauderen and Il quickly arrive at the training grounds. This is my private training ground. Il is stunned. Hermes actually gave him his own personal training ground. She must value this guy highly. Lauderen stops in his tracks and turns to stare intently at Il. He discovers that the other person actually possesses enormous magical power, but still doesn't know how to use it. Being stared at by Lauderen makes Il uneasy. He has no idea what the other wants. It's best to teach him the basics first, but the duel starts in just 4 days. We don't have much time. Lauderen suddenly turns around and clenches his fist. He decides to push Il to his limits to unlock his potential. Pain is part of growth. Il has no time to react and is directly hit by Lauderen's heavy punch. What is this guy doing? Has he lost his mind? Didn't he say he'd train me? Why is he suddenly attacking me? Without much hesitation, Lauderen clenches his fist again and closes in. Focus everything on blocking, otherwise you'll die for sure. Warned, Il raises his arms to block, but the opponent's tremendous force still sends him flying several meters away. Strange. His body strength isn't high, but his reaction speed and perception are quite good. His mental strength is exceptional. Lauderen speculates that when they first met, his failure to dodge Il's kick wasn't an accident. This guy has extremely rich combat experience. Lauderen rushes rapidly toward Il. That bet you made with Commander Hermes? If you don't have mana, there's no way you can defeat Kulkan. Rather than embarrass yourself in front of everyone, better to die here. Lauderen's powerful strike sends Il flying. He's not joking. One more hit like that and I'll really die. Lauderen clenches his fist, preparing to launch another heavy punch. He believes Il can manage to use mana. Damn it. Here goes. I can't die. I haven't married a wife in this other world yet. Il also clenches his fist and charges at Lauderen. Suddenly, a bright blue mana begins swirling around his hand. Their attacks hit each other simultaneously. The collision of mana against mana creates a massive shockwave on the ground. After this strike, Il is completely exhausted and collapses to the ground. Lauderen walks over. Did you notice? You just used mana. Even in this condition, Il doesn't forget to give a thumbs up and flatter him. That's because you taught me well, sir. Lauderen grabs his hand. Good. Keep this up and you'll definitely have a chance to win. Lauderen then begins healing Il's wounds. But just as he injects his magic into the other's body, Il suddenly widens his eyes because at this moment, his body is experiencing intense pain. Damn it, Il spits blood while struggling. He can barely breathe normally now. This is bad. I forgot you're human. Lauderen's eyes widen in fear. Dark magic is like deadly poison to humans. He immediately apologizes repeatedly while picking up Il. In this situation, only the Saintess can save him. The powers in this world counter each other. Dark magic counters magic. Magic counters holy power, and holy power in turn counters dark magic. Magic belongs to humans. Dark magic belongs to demons. Holy power belongs to those who revere the divine. Among these, the most famous is the Holy Gatlin Empire, where they can even hear the voice of the gods. And within the empire, they select the most exceptional person to become the Saintess. At the Demon Army's 3rd Legion headquarters, a human woman is confined in a deep chamber. Her silver hair falls all the way to her waist, snow-white skin and silver eyes matching her hair. Her delicate features are stunning enough to take one's breath away just by looking. But for some reason, her eyes are like dead fish, completely devoid of any life. Her name is Abelson Mariette, the next Saintess of the Gatlin Holy Empire. After being kidnapped by Lauderen not long ago, she has been imprisoned in this place ever since. She hasn't even prayed to God in many days. The condition for becoming a Saintess is being able to hear God's voice. Although she can hear God's voice, she hasn't sought God here. She knows that no matter what, it would all be futile. Just as Abelson is lost in thought. The door to the room suddenly opens. It's the Red Nightmare Lauderen. His breathing is heavy, clearly having rushed here urgently. Abelson sees his anxious expression and feels confused, because the decisive and ruthless Red Nightmare Lauderen usually shows no emotional fluctuations. What's happening? Please save this human, Lauderen shouts urgently. Il has already fallen into unconsciousness. He feels like his head is about to split open. Il slowly recalls the final moment. He remembers being hit by Lauderen and falling to the ground. Damn it, am I really dying while holding a man's hand? Il feels unwilling. No matter what, he should at least die holding a woman's hand. Even Rachel would do. As he thinks this, Il suddenly feels a warm power. He carefully opens his eyes and sees a goddess before him. She has silver hair and silver eyes. The goddess is expressionless, not speaking. I must be dead already, and back at that place preparing to be reborn. Il is convinced of this idea. Goddess, I'll never forgive you, and send Rachel to hell. She's a demon wearing a goddess mask. Finally, if you plan to make me a hero again, you'll have to marry me first. The saintess listens and shows a hint of sadness on her face. How pitiful. Did you die forever alone in both lifetimes? Before Il can savor the saintess's sweet voice, Lauderen suddenly bursts in. You're finally awake! He embraces Il with tears in his eyes, the tremendous pressure seemingly about to crush Il's body. At this rate, I'm going to die again. Lauderen quickly releases Il. After being stunned for a few seconds, Il holds his breath and looks around. The goddess is still there. Could she not be a goddess but a real person? Oh no, what did I just say to her? Has he fully recovered? Lauderen asks the saintess urgently. Abelson shakes her head. That's not certain yet. As you noticed, the dark magic hasn't completely left his body. I don't know what the outcome will be. Lauderen is stunned for a few seconds. Even your holy power can't eliminate it? This might be temporary. Over time, the dark magic may disappear naturally. So let's observe the situation. Abelson speaks calmly. I'm sorry, I'll find a way to make it up to you with training. Lauderen tightly embraces Il. No, sir, you don't need to treat a subordinate like me this way. Before Il finishes speaking, Lauderen carries him out of the room. The saintess left behind looks puzzled. That demon is actually training a human? Who is he exactly? Leaving the saintess's room, Il declines training on the grounds of needing to feed Popo. Thanks for getting me out of that, Popo. I heard you already ate a soldier who came to feed you, so you shouldn't need to eat again today, right? Although Il doesn't have to worry about being killed by Lauderen in training now. Dark magic still remains in his body. This shouldn't be a major problem, right? It won't kill me. Il says this while looking at Rachel. He sees her sitting on the ground crying with tears in her eyes, because she heard everything Il said to Abelson clearly from the side. She never expected her hero would want her to go to hell. Yes, this is all my fault. The dark magic in your body, and you almost dying, it's all because of me. Because I'm a goddess wearing a demon mask, I deserve to suffer eternally in hell. Il suddenly realizes that what he said might have been a bit too much. He walks over to comfort Rachel. All right, Rachel, don't be mad anymore. I can't do without you, my buff dispenser. Shut up, I don't want to hear you talk. Time quickly moves to the next day. Il arrives at Lauderen's private training ground as usual and gets beaten half to death. And the Saintess Abelson naturally becomes Il's dedicated healer. Thank you for healing me. Before tomorrow's duel, I want to ask you something. Il scratches his head sheepishly. Could you pray that I won't die tomorrow? Also, if possible, I'd like to invite you to watch tomorrow's duel. In the blink of an eye, the day of the duel arrives. Due to the intense training, Il's body aches all over, but his mood is calm. In other words, he has become stronger, but those present don't have high hopes for him, because humans have a natural physical disadvantage compared to demons. Lauderen, who do you think will win? Hermes asks from the audience seats. Il. He has extraordinary talent and has undergone rigorous training, Lauderen says without hesitation. Then do you want to make a bet? If you win, I'll let you continue training him. Hermes doesn't think highly of Il. If you lose, I want you to kill him with your own hands. You said you have faith in him, so you must take responsibility for your words. Understood. Lauderen can only agree, and this agreement makes him nervous. He doesn't want Il to die. I can win. Il lowers his head, because under Lauderen's training, he has mastered a brand new skill, Lauderen combat technique. It's a dynamic martial art composed of 10 different boxing styles, modified from the code and fighting style inherited by Lauderen's clan. It pursues overwhelming power to subdue opponents. Although his proficiency is a bit low, Il's body strength has also improved considerably through training. I must win, because a silver-haired Saintess is watching. Just as Il is lost in thought, his opponent, the beastman Kulkan, makes his entrance. The demonic aura on him has surged dramatically in a short time. Clearly this aura is essentially the same as Hermes's. At this moment, Lauderen sees the demonic aura on him and nervously stands up. You can't back out, understand? Hermes says with a smile. Soon, this duel officially begins. Black mist-like substances continuously overflow from Kulkan's body. With a roar, his voice filled with magic echoes across the land. At this moment, his battle power has reached a terrifying 10,573. What's going on? Such an increase in just a few days? Il is completely stunned. What he doesn't know is that this is actually Hermes' doing. I won't back down. Il clenches his fist. Then he quickly charges at Kulkan. But just as he reaches his opponent, Kulkan swings his massive iron club, smashing forward with terrifying momentum, creating a huge crack in the ground. Il twists his body to dodge this attack, then launches an attack on Kulkin from another direction. His fist slams heavily into his face, but this strike certainly isn't enough to be fatal, so Il launches another attack with his other hand. But what he doesn't expect is that despite taking such a fierce attack, Kulkin doesn't even take a single step back. He swings his iron club in a counterattack, nearly hitting Il's left arm. After dodging the attack, Il looks up at Kulkin. Apart from a tiny bit of blood, he doesn't seem to have sustained any serious damage. Before Il can hesitate further, Kulkin charges forward at extreme speed, but these movements are predictable in Il's eyes. After receiving Lauderen's training, he can easily see through his opponent's moves. Don't panic. Il recalls what he learned. The art of combat is the fusion of fighting techniques and mana. This can greatly increase the lethality of your attacks. Combat isn't just about raw power. More importantly, it's about having the fighting skills to kill your opponent. Lauderen said that Il can use the fighting techniques he learned before because he has no intent to kill his opponent, so such attacks are meaningless. I understand now. Strike to kill. Il clenches his fist, then a bright blue light glows on his hand. No matter who stands before me, I will take them down. Il's Lauderen combat technique attack infused with mana strikes precisely at Kulkin's abdomen. The intense shockwave pierces straight through him, even making the earth tremble. After the smoke clears, the attacked Kulkin slowly becomes visible. A huge hole has been blasted through his heart by Il. Today's winner is the weak human, Il. After hearing the announcer declare the result of this battle, Il collapses weakly to the ground. That strike used up almost all his mana. I did it. I pierced straight through his heart. But just when everyone thinks the match is decided, spider web-like substances begin secreting from Kulkin's wound, gradually filling the huge hole in his body. This bizarre and insane ability doesn't look like something a creature like Kulkin could possess. He's not dead even with his heart destroyed? How is that possible? It must be Hermes' doing. Il gradually realizes this. He planted the dark magic immortality curse on Kulkin. Lauderen breaks into a sweat for Il, while Hermes looks smug. He mastered this martial art in such a short time. His talent is unbelievable, but I already anticipated this. Within just a few seconds, Kulkin is already back on his feet. What the heck? A curse? Rachel looks confused. But if it's a curse, this situation won't last too long. Kulkin charges forward while drooling. Il observes his opponent's movements and finds they're still the same as before. These attacks are too easy to dodge, but just as he's about to sidestep, his legs suddenly fail him at this critical moment. Unable to dodge in time, Il is slammed into the wall like a bullet by Kulkin. Il is forced to grab his arm and twist it with all his might. But even after hearing the sound of bones breaking, Kulkin acts as if he feels no pain. He throws Il violently away. The force is so great that Il briefly loses consciousness. Damn it. I can feel large areas of broken bones throughout my body. Stand up. You can do it. From the audience seats, Abelson rarely speaks to Il. That's right, it's not over yet. Encouraged, Il forces his body up and stands shakily. I absolutely cannot embarrass myself in front of the girl I invited. I haven't even been on a date with her yet. As Il speaks, an enormous mana erupts from his body. If my bones are broken, I'll cover them with mana like armor. With the mana's enhancement, Il moves again. He leaps high into the air, then concentrates all his mana into both hands. Die! Il's attack slams heavily onto Kulkin's head, nearly crushing his skull. But even so, Kulkin still doesn't die. An eerie black mist erupts from his body once again. Il looks at Kulkin with infinitely calm eyes. His mind contains only victory and the date. Il raises his hand. This is my job! Come on, musclehead pig! As Il speaks, he slams another punch onto Kulkin's head. Did you teach him that kind of mana control? Hermes asks Lauderen doubtfully, but receives a negative answer. This makes her instantly nervous. Then we need to be careful. He's a monster. This word coming from her mouth carries weight equivalent to a legion commander. Even for her, aside from the Demon King, no one can challenge her position. This duel is quickly declared over. When Il regains consciousness, he's already back in Popo's quarters. How did the duel end? Il didn't see the final result. He only remembers he was beating down Kulkin. You won, and then the Saintess healed you. Getting Rachel's answer, Il quickly opens his hero system. He discovers that after that battle, he directly gained 12 levels, and his attributes have also grown considerably. He even acquired a brand new skill called mana control. But even the well-traveled goddess Rachel has never heard of this skill. It's normal you haven't seen it. Il can't help but complain. What do you mean? It's because this skill is rare, okay? Not because I'm ignorant. While the two are bickering, Il discovers what appears to be a small note beside him. On the other side, the Saintess who healed Il returns to her room. She looks up outside. That guy is too strange. Mastering the use of mana within 3 days, and even learning proficient fighting techniques, would take other knights at least a month to accomplish. He has unfathomable potential. Abelson rubs her hands together. She prayed to God a few days ago. Perhaps this is heaven's response to me, or maybe it's Il's own talent. But that doesn't matter anymore. He won this duel anyway. Maybe he's the person I've been looking for. Abelson speaks as she comes to the door. Then she knocks. Saintess, what do you want? Abelson presses her lips together. I want to ask you a favor. I want to go go for a walk. At this moment in Popo's room, Il opens the note. It's actually from the Saintess. She's asking me to walk with her in the back garden. Il trembles with excitement all over. Without further hesitation, he quickly arrives at the agreed location. Should I ask for her contact information first, or should we exchange letters? Coming out this late makes Rachel very unhappy. Don't be stupid. She's playing with you. Let's go back. But as soon as she finishes speaking, Il nervously grabs her, because he senses movement in the distance. Turning his head, he sees it's Abelson, and behind her are 2 minotaurs. This makes Il quite unhappy. He thought he was having a private date with the Saintess. They're my guards. I can't move around alone. After hearing Abelson's explanation, Il learns that the Saintess has been imprisoned by the demon army. Let's take a walk first. Under the gaze of the 2 minotaurs, Il is too nervous to speak. You're a hero, right? Abelson turns her head. Il is stunned for a moment but still nods. How did you know? In our world, only demons or heroes have black hair. Your performance in yesterday's duel was impressive, so I believe you're a hero. Il is embarrassed by such praise and laughs awkwardly. Can I also ask you something? What do you think of me as a person? Deep confusion appears on Abelson's face. This is a very rare emotional change for her. What is this guy talking about? Just as the atmosphere becomes extremely awkward, Lauderen's voice comes from the distance. His appearance breaks the awkward atmosphere. So you're here. The Legion commander wants to see you. This truly is a bolt from the blue. The date Il worked so hard to arrange is hastily declared over just like that. He's brought by Lauderen to Hermes' office. Well done. Hermes sits cross-legged on the desk looking at Il. I watched this duel very clearly. Your recent achievements are quite impressive. Hermes flicks her finger. Do you remember the proposal I made to you? Il quickly nods. Yes, I remember you said I should duel opponents you designate in exchange for your protection during that time. That's right, and then? Hermes continues asking. You said I should become a demon officer and work here. Hermes nods with satisfaction. Now I'm telling you, that was just an excuse. I thought you wouldn't live long. So now my thinking has changed. She points at Lauderen. You said he would become an excellent demon officer. So this time I think we should try something different. Not dueling. Hermes gets down from the desk and slowly approaches. You know, our unit has an independent cooking company. This time the cooking company suffered heavy casualties, so the executives can't have proper meals. So starting today, you'll become the commander of this unit. I'll give you the authority to recruit cooking soldiers as you see fit. Can you do it? Il knows he has no choice. Leave it to me. Congratulations on your promotion. You're a company commander now, Rachel teases. A human hero actually became an officer of demon soldiers. Are you happy now? Yes. This feeling is amazing. Il doesn't coddle her. The two bicker as they arrive at the Legion kitchen. But the moment Il pushes open the door, he hears greedy chewing sounds coming from inside. Looking down, there's actually a cooking soldier greedily eating something. He recognizes Il. Oh, it's that barbecue slave? Slave? Il immediately loses his cool upon hearing this contemptuous term. He moves his numb foot. Friend, you're wrong. Starting today, I'm the head chef supervisor. With that, Il viciously kicks him in the face. After venting his anger, Il gathers all the soldiers in the kitchen. People here generally have battle power around 2,000, with the strongest at 30,500. Looking at them, Il immediately has a big question in his mind. Why are there so few kitchen soldiers now? Shouldn't there be 300 to 500 people? Now there aren't even 30? But Il also can't disobey Hermes' orders, or he'll die on the spot. Il feigns composure. Does anyone know who I am? A cute one raises his hand. He's a tasty human. As soon as he finishes speaking, Il viciously kicks him into the wall. That's right, I'm a tasty human, you fool. Il pulls out the appointment letter Hermes gave him. The commander appointed me as the head supervisor of the kitchen unit. From now on, you must treat me like royalty. Also, can anyone tell me why there are so few people here now? A soldier raises his hand. They all went hunting and were killed by magical beasts. Hearing this situation, Il remains quite calm, because the strongest chef Kulkan was already killed when facing the Taras Queen. So it's normal that these remaining misfits can't beat wild monsters. Who's the strongest among you now? It's Garumu. Everyone points without hesitation at the person Il beat up earlier. Because his battle power is outstanding, Il appoints him as deputy kitchen supervisor. Alright, dismissed if there's nothing else. Il sits alone in the corner. He thinks the kitchen needs at least 200 people. Then there's only one way to do it. The next day at dawn, Il leaves the quarters with Popo. He already has a good method for recruiting soldiers in mind, using Popo to intimidate opponents. Either join the kitchen department or get eaten by Popo. Let's start with that. Il kicks a soldier straight in the face. With a power level of only 1931, this one seems manageable. Hey, little mole, wanna join our kitchen department? What mole? The soldier looks around and points at himself. Yes, mole, I'm talking to you. Il delivers another brutal kick. The mole guy sits down looking aggrieved. Why? Why? You're hitting me without even hearing my answer? You're the first recruit today. Do you know what that means? Il sighs. It means you'll have higher status than those who join later. You can abuse your power or find someone to take the blame for you. Take the blame? The mole guy looks confused. With his limited intelligence, he can't think that far ahead. Yes, go bring all your friends. For every 10 people who join, I'll give you one subordinate. Il's plan seems perfect. He might soon build up a division's worth of troops, but what he doesn't expect is that the mole creature is a soldier from the independent battalion. This news quickly reaches the ears of the battalion commander, the demon Doris. Commander, we have a problem. Our battalion is running out of soldiers. Why? Doris elegantly picks up a handkerchief. Did they desert? Have the soldiers left en masse? He doesn't believe he's treated his soldiers badly enough to make them flee. They didn't flee. They've all been recruited as cooks. I see. Doris breathes a sigh of relief. He leans back in his chair. Recruiting kitchen soldiers is normal. I'll generously let it slide. Tell them to be more careful next time. Doris has no interest in dealing with this matter. No, we need to take this seriously, the soldier shouts with a tearful voice. He's already taken 200 of our soldiers. Hearing this number, the calm Doris instantly breaks down. Meanwhile, Il continues recruiting kitchen soldiers. We now have over 200 cooks. Should we end the recruitment? The moment he mentions this, he senses something's wrong. Glancing sideways, Il discovers something terrifying. Didn't I tell them to bring one comrade? Why did this guy bring a pig? Something's wrong. Il uses the power gauge to check, then freezes in shock. We're done for. Immeasurable. This guy's power level is over 50,000. Let's quietly wrap up and run. But Il barely takes 2 steps before Doris calls out to him, so he can only turn back and force a calm smile. Yes, sir, what brings you here? Doris reveals his identity as commander of the 3rd Legion's Independent Battalion, then begins interrogating Il. What brings me here? Don't you know? What are you thinking? He points at the soldiers Il just recruited. Why did you take half my battalion's soldiers? Il is stunned. He never expected these guys all came from the same battalion. Let me explain, sir. Damn. No wonder this went so smoothly. A few minutes later, Il is brought to the office by Doris. You're saying you didn't do this intentionally? Il quickly nods and starts flattering him. Yes, sir, I selected only the most valiant-looking soldiers, but they all happen to be from your battalion. Hearing this, Doris beams internally. Commander Hermes likes this guy, so I'd better not make a big fuss about this. With this thought, he immediately puts on a smile. Since this is your selection method, we can only comply. Is this really okay? Il is overjoyed, but he knows things won't be that simple. Sure enough, the next second, Doris speaks. But I have one condition. Take one more soldier from our battalion, and we're good. Il suspects Doris wants to dump some useless fool on him. What? Are you unwilling? Seeing Il's delayed response, Doris's murderous intent begins to show. I'm just so happy. Il runs out of the office without looking back. Just introduce them to me later. Shortly after Il returns to his office, the door suddenly opens. A towering giant appears. His name is Azolu, a hybrid of ogre and half-orc. Il looks up and sees the opponent's power level is immeasurable. This guy looks stupid, but he's incredibly strong. I need to use him well. The next day, Il gathers all the kitchen soldiers again. Let me reintroduce myself. I am Popo's keeper and head chef. Next, Il announces his plan to reorganize the department. He prepares a roster and has them stand according to their positions on it. Il has discovered that while these beastmen have similar intelligence levels, their power levels vary drastically. So he categorizes them by power level, assigning the weaker ones to kitchen duty and taking the stronger ones hunting. A few minutes later, they form 2 lines as Il requested. On the right is the cooking squad, on the left is the combat squad. No objections, right? But the moment Il finishes speaking, a soldier raises his arm. I object. I want to hunt too. I want fresh meat. The speaker is an extremely short beastman. Il gives an awkward laugh, then crooks his finger. Come here. The skinny soldier, confused, slowly walks over. Then Il kicks him hard, sending him flying. You want to go? Pass my test first. Obviously, you didn't pass. After Il does this, the hero system sends a notification. With excellent leadership, you have commanded soldiers to reorganize and stabilize the troops. Hidden attribute charisma increased. Command ability level raised. Il's eyes widen. This is a completely unexpected reward. Anyone else have objections? Il raises his fist. If not, combat squad. Grab your weapons and move out. Time to hunt. Under Il's lead, the combat squad reaches the northern forest, but unexpectedly, there isn't a single beast here. Could it be because Popo or Azolu are too strong and easily scare away enemies? Rachel suggests. Il agrees, but these 2 are the combat squad's top forces. He can't leave them behind. Just then, Rachel claps her hands as if remembering something. She looks at Il with a sly smile. Then let's use them as bait. My god, this girl really is a devil. Il circles around and selects 5 numbered soldiers as bait. Lottery numbers he bought back on Earth. With tears in his eyes, Il orders Azolu to throw out the soldiers whose numbers are called. Number 14. Launch. Intercontinental ballistic missile. Fire. Using the weak ones as bait should lure the prey over, right? Il says. He doesn't forget to have his men light torches insincerely. This way the bait soldiers can see the smoke and come back. Throwing them like that, you're sure they'll come back alive? Rachel's face is full of doubt. Of course. Il smirks wickedly. At least one of the 6 will come back, including Azolu. Everyone watching thinks Il has gone mad. We'll definitely die if we go. But just as they want to flee, they turn around to find Popo, who received the order, already waiting behind them. Despite looking troubled, Il is actually calm inside. Either obediently do as I say, or go play inside Popo's belly. Unsurprisingly, the poor soldiers all choose the first option. After all, possibly dying is better than certain death. Sure enough, after waiting a while, the bait soldiers bring back several beasts. Wait for the soldiers to handle them. I only need the final blow. Before Il finishes speaking, Azolu roars and charges forward, then swings his weapon and launches a fierce attack. What kind of power is this? Il is shocked. With just one strike, Azolu completely shatters the massive beast, and Popo does the same, instantly killing them too. How am I supposed to work with this? Not only did I miss the final blow, even the meat on the beast is completely shattered. When we come tomorrow, I'm absolutely not bringing these two. I'm leaving. See you all tomorrow. Shortly after returning to his quarters, Il heads to the kitchen. After building up his emotions, he angrily kicks the door open. Are you slacking off again? Is the food ready? The deputy head chef quickly runs over. We're working on it, but today's meat is a bit. Il's expression darkens. A craftsman doesn't complain about his tools. Yes, sir, I'll get right on it. Though he says this, Il knows well that with these cooks' skill level, even passing dogs would cover their noses. But it's fine. Il has already thought of a solution. Regular soldiers eat what the cooks make. Only battalion commanders and above qualified eat his cooking. This not only perfectly solves the production shortage, but also gains favor with high-ranking officers. After finishing the roast, Il immediately seeks out Abelson. Because she helped him greatly in that duel, he wants to express his gratitude with tender roast. Thank you, I only need a little. Abelson spears a piece of roast, and rich meaty aromas waft up. The smell is much better than she expected. After putting it in her mouth and chewing, the taste completely astonishes Abelson. This is the most delicious food she's eaten in the Demon Lord's Black Castle, so good. Soon, Abelson finishes the roast completely. Afterward, Il picks up the plate to leave, but just then, Abelson speaks. She asks Il if he has anything he wants to do after leaving the Demon Lord's castle. Get married and have children, Il blurts out. But Abelson freezes upon hearing this. She originally thought a hero would have loftier ambitions. I understand. You may go. It doesn't have to be the village chief's daughter. Il shyly hooks his finger. Then he asks Abelson the same question. Me? I don't want to do anything? After thinking for a long time, she calmly says this. Meanwhile, in the Gatlin Empire, a subordinate comes to report in panic. They've discovered Saintess Abelson's whereabouts. She's imprisoned in the Black Castle. Fearing the voracious eater Hermes, the Empire dares not rashly send troops. In human history, the Black Castle has been conquered only 3 times, and each time was because Hermes was absent. After pondering for a moment, the Pope comes up with a perfect solution. Summon our heroes, send them as a secret rescue team. The next day, Il assembles soldiers early for hunting, but Abelson's words, I don't want to do anything, linger in his mind. Why would she think that way? With this question, Il begins today's hunt. After going deeper into the forest, he raises his hand to signal the team to stop, then orders all squad leaders to step forward. 10 squad leaders, 10 people total. They nervously glance at Il's expression. What's he planning today? Fortunately, Azolu isn't here, so he probably won't do that crazy thing of throwing soldiers into the forest. But today, Il is surprisingly generous, actually pulling out several large pieces of seasoned roast from his backpack. Everyone take a bite. What are you standing there for? I'm telling you to eat. If you don't, you'll go feed Popo. We'll eat. The squad leaders tearfully stuff the meat in their mouths. These burly men devour fist-sized chunks of meat in less than a minute. Head chef, what is this? It's so delicious. The squad leader's eyes begin to moisten, tears dripping down. We really chose right joining the kitchen troops. Head chef is such a great person. We'll definitely work hard from now on. Give us another piece. The squad leaders shout excitedly. Faces flushed. But Il raises his index finger and waves it gently. The gourmet experience is over. Now the game begins. Go capture beasts alive. The squad that captures the most will get the chance to dine with me today. Still standing there? Run. As Il's words fall, a life or death game for meat begins. To taste that aromatic roast again, the squad leaders all charge ahead. All creatures are dominated by their desires. During today's hunt, Il directly raises his level to 224. Hehehe, head chef, which squad won today? Il turns around and announces the Wild Wolf squad as this hunt's champions. They will get the chance to eat roast. The losers can only get better luck next time. Meanwhile, inside the Black Castle, a large number of demon soldiers lie in pools of blood. They all died at the hands of the same person. In moments, that person reaches the room where Saintess Abelson is imprisoned, then removes his hood. Saintess Abelson, I've come to rescue you. The person is the rescue team sent by the Pope, a hero hidden in the Holy Empire's shadows, Oseld Geffen. Unexpectedly, after explaining his purpose, he's refused by Abelson, who simultaneously demands he leave. Geffen scratches his head with a smile, slowly approaching Abelson, stating that this is his mission and he must complete it. But unexpectedly, Abelson still refuses, mentioning the voracious eater Hermes. If you don't leave, I'll use holy power to notify her. But before she finishes, Geffen's heavy punch already lands on Abelson's abdomen. Sleep well. When you open your eyes again, you'll be in the Empire. Abelson is held tightly, a suffocating dizziness slowly emerging. How can he possess holy power? No, I absolutely cannot return to that place. Just as Abelson is about to pass out, a sandbag-sized fist smashes hard into Geffen's face. Get your filthy hands off her, you bastard. It's Il. This punch uses nearly all his strength, but Geffen remains completely unmoved. A guy radiating dark magic? Interesting. Though you look more human on the outside, Geffen sneers. Nice moves, but your magic power is far lacking. Before he finishes speaking, Il attacks again, a whirlwind carrying quite powerful magic. His movements far exceed Geffen's expectations. This makes Geffen interested in Il, wanting to bring him back to the Empire as well. Geffen blocks the attack and counterstrikes. The terrifying force makes blood gush from Il's mouth, and he loses consciousness on the spot. Did he die? Perhaps the instant rage caused Geffin's strength to go out of control. Rachel, hiding nearby, is instantly shocked seeing this. He took down my hero with one hit. I should probably go get Popo. After confirming Il isn't dead, Geffen pulls out a scroll from his pocket. This is a high-level holy magic scroll prepared just in case, but just then, an extremely imposing female voice suddenly sounds from behind. What's happening here? Do you need my help? It's Hermes. I didn't sense her presence at all. Geffen suppresses his shock and quickly turns. Voracious Eater Hermes. That title isn't very polite. Perhaps calling me Gourmet would be more appropriate, Hermes jokes with a smile. In complete contrast to Hermes' attitude, cold sweat pours down Geffen's face. Can I win? The Pope had repeatedly warned to absolutely avoid fighting the Voracious Eater, but Geffen had scoffed at this. But truly facing the Voracious Eater, he finally understands why the Pope was so insistent. I can't sense any demonic energy at all. Even at close range, he can't detect Hermes' presence at all. This isn't a good sign. It means the power gap between them is enormous. But Geffen has defeated countless opponents stronger than himself. He wants to challenge himself again. Between heartbeats, Hermes' terrifying magic power crashes down on Geffen like a raging storm. Don't panic, must focus and find the right moment to escape with the Saintess. Then while he's thinking, his brain suddenly feels dizzy. His arm has been severed. When did that happen? Geffen freezes instantly. Come, make this fun for me. Hermes opens her gaping maw. Geffen realizes he's completely lost. Forget escaping with the Saintess. Even his own survival is uncertain now. After confirming the mission's failure, he directly bites down and crushes the scroll in his mouth. Suddenly a bright light flashes as the holy magic on the scroll activates. Such pure holy power would reduce ordinary demons or beasts to ash on contact. But Hermes, standing right there, merely furrows her brow slightly. Oh my, trying to escape? Won't you play with me a bit longer? In the blink of an eye, Geffen vanishes without a trace. His escape skills are quite good. Actually, Hermes deliberately let him go. If she truly wanted to kill, she could have killed Geffen thousands of times within a minute. Demons have appeared on the continent for over 500 years. Countless demons have come and gone in cycles. However, only two demons are exceptions. The Demon Lord and Hermes. They stand like towering mountains, unwavering. The Demon Lord almost never appears before others, but the Voracious Eater Hermes is entirely different. The ones killed this time are all Lauderen's minions. Lauderen will be upset, time flies, and soon it's the next day. Il undergoes Lauderen's training again. Your attack methods and way of casting magic remain the same as before. Too simple and direct. Your imagination is limited, so your movements appear monotonous and rigid. Lauderen points out Il's flaws, but then shifts tone. No matter how strong you are, there's always someone stronger. So for victory, using any tactics is justified, under Lauderen's instruction. Today's training officially concludes. Once he leaves, Il immediately collapses on the ground. I'm dying. Someone save me! Under the goddess Rachel's healing, Il's condition begins to improve. To you now, I'm just a healing potion, aren't I? But facing Rachel's complaints, Il's thoughts have already drifted far away. I have nothing to tell you. Become stronger, Il. Only with sufficient power can you uphold your beliefs. Saintess Abelson said I need to become stronger. Il's untimely words instantly stir Rachel's jealousy. Are you still thinking about that woman? You nearly lost your life for her. You spoke disrespectfully of the Saintess. That's punishable by divine retribution. While the two bicker, Rachel voices her confusion. That blonde assassin can clearly use holy power, so why would he attack a Saintess from his own side? Il nods in agreement. As the next Saintess, she should be extremely valuable. Either way, we can't discuss the Saintess anymore. Why? Because you like her? Il covers his ears. Enough. Stop being jealous. Contrary to his stubborn pride now, several dozen minutes later, Il lies in his quarters crying. Let my life end now. I don't want to be human in my next life. His behavior leaves Popo completely confused. Are you worried about that fool? I think you've come to see him as your master. To answer Popo's confusion, Rachel recounts what happened 10 minutes ago. Back then, Il was summoned to Hermes' office. I have a serious problem right now. I'm bored. Hermes' words startle Il. What does she want now? I want to see something interesting. You have 1 month. Go defeat a battalion commander. Seeing Il's troubled expression, Hermes extends her finger, indicating that if he feels he can't do it, she can help him the same way she helped Kulkin. Not at all necessary. I will perfectly execute your request. After explaining everything to Popo, Rachel doesn't forget to add, say goodbye to him. Popo, you won't see him soon. After saying this, she flies to Il's side. Accept your fate. With your 9,000 power level, you think you can defeat a battalion commander. I'm already miserable. I don't mind dragging someone down with me, Il says, lying back on the table. Those who become battalion commanders generally have power levels exceeding 40,000. Turning to look at Popo below, whose power level has reached immeasurable heights, Il sighs. If only you could fight in my place. But this battle is expected to be in duel form. Yes, that's right. Before finishing, Il seems to think of something. A duel? No. Hermes didn't say this had to be a duel. After triple checking with Rachel, Il confirms Hermes didn't require a duel. That means I can use any method to win. Ambush, gang up, even bring Popo, or all three combined. Lure him out, then have Popo lead an ambush and gang up on him. Should I call you clever or cowardly? Rachel shakes her head after hearing Il's plan. But now, a tricky problem faces them, how to lure the battalion commander out. However, this problem isn't a problem for Il. He just needs to select some ribs, add honey to draw out the blood, then slice some mushrooms. Of course, seasonings and garlic are essential, and water-spitting fish as garnish. Just put all these ingredients in the pot, simmer on low heat for 2 hours, then it burns. Damn it. But Il takes the opportunity to salvage the unburned parts, finally sprinkling some scallions. Perfect. With this delicacy, I'm sure no battalion commander can resist. In the camp on the other side, the peace-loving battalion commander Doris, as usual, leisurely enjoys his food. Having offloaded the troublemaker Azolu from his unit, he's finally achieved true peace. But just then, a subordinate reports. Head chef Il requests an audience. Doris waves dismissively without thinking. Tell him returning Azolu is impossible, but facing Doris's instruction, the soldier shakes his head. No, he says he's here to express gratitude. He wants to personally cook for you. Hearing the word cook, Doris's eyes immediately widen. There's always been a rumor that Il's roast can even conquer Hermes' taste buds, so he quickly orders Il to enter. Shortly after the soldier withdraws, Il walks in carrying a large plate, and for ceremonial effect, he even holds a red rose in his mouth. Lord Doris, long time no see. This scene makes Doris's face flush red, his heart pounding like a wild deer, but he quickly realizes something's off and forces himself to calm down. I heard you're here to express gratitude? Yes, thanks to your care a month ago, I was able to become head chef smoothly. Il places the plate before Doris. But to express my gratitude to Lord Doris, I've carefully prepared this dish. I hope you'll enjoy it. Doris pays no attention to Il's words, his gaze already locked firmly on the dish on the table. Wait, this aroma! Doris unceremoniously grabs a large rib, the aroma making him unable to resist. Gratitude or whatever, he's already curious about the meat's taste to the point of madness. Doris stuffs the meat in his mouth and begins savoring it slowly. Then unpleasant sounds flow from this pig's mouth. So delicious, I can't stand it. Ah! A flash of murderous intent crosses Il's face, but it vanishes instantly. Doris doesn't notice. This meat tastes really good, Doris says with a red face, seemingly only now feeling ashamed of his earlier behavior. I'm glad it suits your taste. Il forces a kind smile that would make anyone think he's genuinely happy. Then I'll take my leave. Il suppresses his disgust, turns, and opens the door. But the instant he leaves the room, Il vomits up everything he ate this week. How to describe the scene I witnessed? It was nothing but disgusting. Utterly disgusting. I must slaughter this pig. And so, Il delivers meals to Doris for a week, regularly feeding him meat to make him a meat slave, then taking him to the forest to finish him off. That was Il's original plan. But today, after tasting the food, Doris suddenly shows a troubled expression and stops. It turns out, tomorrow he will face a positioned defense battle. If he loses, he'll lose his battalion commander position. It's all because I became like this that people look down on me. Doris looks at his bloated figure with a self-mocking smile, then devours the meat in large gulps. But Il falls into deep despair. It's over. If this pig gets killed in the duel, a week of my efforts will be wasted. And no matter how you look at it, this pig can't possibly win the decisive battle. You should have managed your figure properly, you stupid pig. Il wants to grab Doris by the collar and roar. But just then, Doris's voice suddenly sounds. If you have time, I hope you'll come watch. You're my lucky charm. Okay, Il nods, then silently prays in his heart. Please, let the challenger be even worse than Doris. The next day, Il finishes his daily work with panda eyes and arrives at the dueling arena. Look on the bright side. Maybe that pig will suddenly awaken and become a super pig? But what super pig weighs over 800 pounds? Impossible. Il doesn't even believe his own self-consoling nonsense. Inside the arena, Doris takes a full half hour just to climb the stairs to the platform. But seeing Il in the stands, he feels everything he's done is meaningful. My lucky charm, you finally came. His opponent is a burly, robust demon with a deer head. Clearly, Il's prayers were disastrous. Soon, at the referee's command, the duel begins. The deer-headed demon attacks first. His speed is extremely fast, but he stops the instant he hits Doris. Unexpectedly, Doris, who seems to have trouble even walking, has enough strength to firmly control his opponent. Next, he positions himself, then suddenly exerts force. The violent attack instantly shatters the entire dueling arena. Even Il, far away in the stands, is almost caught by the attack's aftershock. Il is certain this battle is over, and the victor is the demon Doris. After the duel ends, Il returns to his quarters. Having witnessed Doris's true power, he's certain that Popo alone cannot defeat Doris. Therefore, Il modifies his plan. He needs to find stronger creatures deep in the hunting forest to jointly strike Doris, like the Taras Queen, for example. Thanks to these cooking soldiers' hard work, Il is able to understand this area's situation. His face is full of pride. Hero, are you planning to— That's right, there's a saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. On the third day, in the battle back mountain forest, Rachel covers her mouth as if about to vomit any moment. After memorizing the Beast Encyclopedia for 3 days straight, the ocean of knowledge has filled her limited brain capacity. Before I throw up, let's get going quickly, hero, Il nods, then pulls out a map. The first target is 1 kilometer ahead. The cooking soldiers marked it as a monster called Simibufi. Rachel quickly chimes in. In ancient language, it means forest worm. There are also 2 other monsters with similar appearances, Mossbeat and Estinibia, but this option is immediately rejected because Rachel thinks this creature's attack power isn't strong and it won't actively attack people. How about that? Isn't this goddess talented? Call me the beast expert. Il is stunned. Ah, yes, you're not only talented but also very wise. That said, empty-headed guys do learn fast. Soon enough, Il gathers all the kitchen soldiers. He studies the map carefully, and one location catches his eye, marked as covered in steel-like scales. Dragon-shaped appearance, but Rachel says there are many types of dragons, and these descriptions alone can't determine which kind. In Il's understanding, dragons should be the beasts with the strongest attack power, so he decides to check it out himself. Arriving at the dragon's territory, Il issues today's mission to the kitchen soldiers. We're cleaning this place out. No need to catch them alive. Hunt on sight, eat on sight. Il's decision excites the kitchen soldiers like never before. Whoa, the head chef finally came to his senses. We can eat fresh meat till we're stuffed. Meat, I want meat. Soon, they slaughter a large number of beasts here. Contrary to the kitchen soldiers' excitement, Il appears restless at this moment. Why hasn't the beast lord shown up yet? Logically speaking, with so many small ones dead, the big one should appear by now, right? So, to avoid wasting an entire day, Il decides to take things further, ordering the kitchen soldiers to start fires and roast all these beasts on the spot. Sure enough, shortly after the barbecue begins, the ground suddenly starts trembling. At the same time, Il's eyes light up. Is it coming? Though he doesn't know what it is, he senses something massive approaching. Before long, a beast crashes through the trees and appears, its eyes blood red, standing at a terrifying 5 meters tall, with a dragon-like head and entire body covered in black scales. Il immediately puts on his power gauge. Power immeasurable. Immeasurable. Perfect. The power level qualifies. Rachel tells Il this is a beast called Nadrake, whose combat power rivals that of a battalion commander. A giant dragon appeared. Run! The cooking soldiers scatter in panic. But Il smirks at this moment. We can defeat Doris. Everyone, I'll take the lead. With that, Il bolts away at full speed. Meanwhile, Lauderen is summoned to Hermes' office. What has Il been up to lately? Lauderen replies that he's doing the same as always, carrying out his duties as head chef. Hermes finds this unusual. Il has been behaving too peacefully lately. Don't tell me, Lauderen, you taught him some incredible technique again? No, we're just doing routine training. Hermes then asks what the odds are of Il defeating a battalion commander, and Lauderen answers 0. Though Il has been peaceful lately, Lauderen has also noticed something strange. I heard he's been getting quite close to Doris recently. You mean that pig? Hermes looks puzzled. He says he can defeat a battalion commander, yet now he's getting so close to one. What is he thinking? How interesting. Let's wait and see. Over the following days, Il repeatedly prepares delicious dishes for Doris. This is absolutely delicious. Thank you for providing the barbecue today, too. After devouring 50 plates of barbecue, Doris lets out a little burp. At that moment, Il deliberately sighs with difficulty. This strange behavior immediately catches Doris's attention. What's wrong? Did something happen? Il's eyes glisten with tears. It's nothing. Just that something happened in our kitchen department. This might be the last time I can bring you a meal. The severity of the situation makes Doris jump to his feet. What? Tell me what happened. With a downcast face, Il waves his hands. Commander Hermes said she wants to taste special beast meat, but this beast is too powerful. Even after days of fighting, we still couldn't capture it. This statement shocks Doris. He can't fathom what beast could be that powerful. Marble pattern beast? What's that? I've never heard of it, but it's perfectly normal that Doris hasn't heard of it, because Il just made it up on the spot. This concerns life and death. I wouldn't lie about this. Seeing Il's predicament, Doris generously offers to lend him 200 soldiers, but Il refuses the kind gesture. He believes the soldiers are too weak. No matter how many are sent, they'd just be throwing their lives away. However, if our great Lord Doris were to personally step in, perhaps this trouble would be resolved. And if you do this, I'll make sure Commander Hermes knows of Lord Doris's contribution. Just imagining that after success, the commander might cup his handsome face and praise him. Doris gets excited instantly. Will it really be like that? Seeing Doris waver, Il quickly repeats that he'll definitely inform the commander, which finally gets him to agree. Alright then, I'll help you. After all, we're friends. Really? You agreed? A meaningful smile crosses Il's lowered face. Thank you, my lord. Rising at dawn the next day, Il leads a large force to the forest. Today is the decisive battle day, codenamed Pig Hunt Operation. Therefore, he specially brings along the strongest fighters among the cooking soldiers, Popo and Azolu. Though there's still time before Hermes' deadline, they decide to act early. Il heads toward Doris's troops, and soon both sides meet up, then proceed together toward the forest. Not only does Doris come, he even brings all the soldiers from his battalion, showing how seriously he takes this matter. But this isn't good news for Il. This is way too much. Over 500 soldiers. Of course, Nidrake, you're no coward either, right? Il can only console himself this way. After advancing into the forest depths for who knows how long, the earth suddenly begins shaking violently. Il gulps nervously. That's the one, it's coming. Good, time to stretch these muscles. Doris stretches and jumps down from the carriage. At the same time, Nidrake crashes through the forest trees and reveals itself, its roar echoing across the entire land. Nidrake's strange cry makes Doris frown. So that's the beast called the marble-patterned beast? But I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Doris seems lost in thought. He must have encountered Nidrake somewhere in the past. Il quickly interrupts his thoughts. Don't all beasts look pretty much the same? Ha ha ha. I suppose so. Fortunately, Doris is easily convinced by Il. Then I'll handle this guy. You must report my contribution to the commander. With that, Doris charges forward alone. Of course, I'll personally report everything in detail to the commander. Il's lips curl slightly upward. Soon, Doris and Nidrake engage in battle, and each time Doris clashes with Nidrake, earth-shattering booms erupt. The ground cracks and rocks shatter. My lord hero, when do we make our move? At this rate, that pig will really take down Nidrake, Rachel whispers from within Il's arms. But Il's eyes widen in surprise. He never expected Doris would make such a decision, sacrificing the battalion soldiers to absorb Nidrake's attacks while keeping himself virtually unscathed. But just as the battle reaches its peak, a soldier suddenly rushes over in a frantic panic, shouting loudly that another beast is attacking. This completely disrupts Il's plan. Isn't this Nidrake's territory? According to natural law, beasts generally don't invade each other's domains. Before long, the ground splits open, and a giant worm-like beast bursts forth. That's Simabufi. Rachel recognizes the beast instantly and shouts, "Why did that thing suddenly appear?" Il roars. However, the appearing beast isn't the last one. Beasts dominating various parts of the forest keep showing up one after another. This is completely beyond the plan. Knowing he's outmatched, Doris immediately issues a retreat order to the soldiers. Meanwhile, Rachel grows tense. My lord hero, what do? We can't let Doris leave here. Il knows this all too well. If Doris leaves, the one who dies will definitely be himself. He takes desperate deep breaths to steady his emotions, then slowly utters a few words. Lauderen combat technique, first form. What are you talking about right now? Doris looks completely confused, but in less than 1 second, Il's heavy punch already slams into Doris's abdomen. Cancel that order. We absolutely cannot retreat. Il suddenly raises his voice. Everyone listen up. Fight bravely. We have no way back. Only those who survive are qualified to attend the victory feast. His booming voice drowns out the chaotic forest. Meanwhile, the struck Doris falls into thought. When are demons most enraged? When beaten black and blue? No. Or when defeated in a command succession battle? Still no. It's when betrayed by insect like humans. He showed him kindness, yet he dares betray him. Doris rages to the point of nearly losing his sanity, wanting nothing more than to rush up and tear Il to shreds. Il. Crimson light bursts from Doris's eyes with only one thought left in his mind. Kill Il. Doris makes up his mind and unleashes his ultimate hidden technique, Demon Bloodline Second Stage Bloom. This is a skill that trades burning one's life force for explosive power. Il is completely stunned, and even Rachel urges him to flee immediately. But Doris's attack is indiscriminate and lethal. His battle aura spreads outward with himself as the center, and the beast Simabufi near Doris dies instantly. Fortunately, Il is far enough away, so his injuries aren't too severe. But Doris's rage doesn't diminish in the slightest. I'll tear you to shreds. At this critical moment, Il remembers he still has his 2 trump cards. Bobo and Azalu. Where are they? Rachel looks worried. They seem to have been dragged into Simabufi's burrow. Hearing this news, Il feels utterly hopeless, which means he must defeat Doris alone. An almost impossible feat. However, at that moment, Doris's trembling body suddenly coughs twice, with blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. This makes Il instantly realize that Doris's devastating technique apparently comes with extremely severe side effects, so Il immediately takes off running. Rachel, quickly tell me what beasts are nearby. 11 o'clock direction. If you keep going, you'll reach the ogre habitat. Ogres are very strong creatures, with combat power generally above 30,000. However, for Doris currently in the Bloom of Blossom's second stage form, they're like roadside trash, swatted away with ease. Just like that, one runs and one chases, the situation lasting about 10 minutes. Doris gradually loses patience, so he stops in his tracks and unleashes the 3rd stage of Bloom of Blossom. Instantly, waves of immense power flow endlessly from within his body. But at that moment, Doris's heart suddenly sends out a sharp pain, accompanied by violent coughing, with mouthfuls of fresh blood continuously pouring from his mouth. Rachel can sense that the demon energy within him is rapidly depleting. What's happening? Have I already reached my limit? I must have exhausted too much stamina during the chase. Realizing the situation is dire, Doris immediately turns and runs. Hey, where are you going, buddy? Just you wait. Once I recover my strength, you're dead. Perhaps his stamina is too depleted. Doris only runs a few steps before Il catches up. You can't escape. Il clenches his fist, gathering all his mana into it. Lauderen combat technique 7th form. Destruction shockwave. But to his surprise, Even though severely overextended, Doris still catches his strongest attack. Both sides' mana continuously collides in the air, as if it could tear the earth apart the next second. But at that moment, an unknown force intervenes in the clash, instantly sending Il flying. Damn it, what's going on? Not understanding, he quickly looks up to observe, only to see Doris clinging to Hermes' leg begging for mercy. Please save me, Commander. But what responds to him is the intense demonic power bursting from Hermes. Shut up, Doris. Just how stupid are you to be beaten this badly by a mere human? Doris immediately falls silent. Taking advantage of their stunned moment, Il dashes forward in one swift move, just as we agreed. At this moment, I have successfully defeated a battalion commander. The instant his words fall, Il's kick slams hard into the back of Doris's head. Saying he defeated a battalion commander isn't wrong. Hermes' enormous lips split horizontally. Hehehehe. How fascinating. Laughter bursts forth uncontrollably. In the office, Hermes questions, I told you to defeat a battalion commander, and this is the method you used? I've exhausted every method I could think of, but I didn't expect to turn the troops into such chaos. After hearing Il's explanation, Hermes bursts out laughing. What on earth goes through your head to reach such conclusions? I'd love to crack it open and see. Il freezes upon hearing this. Please restrain your curiosity. I would be most grateful. Hermes feels Il is exploiting a loophole in her words. But considering this is the first time, she grudgingly acknowledges that Il completed the mission. I don't like this. Don't let it happen again. Il can only nod like a submissive underling. Yes, my lord. Thank you very much. Returning to Popo's residence, Il collapses on the floor. Phew, I really thought I was going to die. Today was utterly exhausting. Every moment felt like walking on thin ice. By the way, what was that enhancement form Doris used? It seems to be a martial skill unique to the demon race. We might ask that Minotaur about it. Hearing their conversation, Popo, who is resting at home, pokes out its head and calls out tentatively. All right, Popo worked hard too. I'm sorry I couldn't take better care of you. After hearing this, Popo chirps energetically, seemingly indicating it's fine. Ah, so cute. Il keeps stroking Popo's head. Speaking of which, I do feel a bit bad about Doris. He treated me pretty well, yet I deceived him in the end. Really? You don't look the least bit guilty to me. Rachel's eyes narrow to slits. No, I'm sorry, truly sorry. Il covers his face with both hands, but his upturned lips show through. Hey, you're smiling right now, aren't you? Take your hands away. After defeating Doris, Il jumps all the way to level 420, and his combat power reaches a terrifying 13,936 points. Excellent. Let's keep this momentum and push forward. Let's celebrate with a drink. Rachel brings over a large mug of beer. Let's toast to taking down Doris. 3 days later at dawn, Il arrives at the training grounds early, even half an hour before Lauderen. You're here, Lauderen. Yes. Congratulations on defeating Doris. Thank you. Il slowly walks over, taking the opportunity to ask, Lauderen, do you know about Battle Aura? Lauderen closes his eyes thoughtfully, then nods after a moment. Though the timing is a bit early, if it's you, it should be fine. Actually, Lauderen had originally planned to teach Battle Aura much later, as it's quite dangerous. If one practices Battle Aura without a solid foundation, it could ruin the body. Lauderen begins explaining the principles of Battle Aura. Battle Aura is roughly divided into two types. First is tangible Battle Aura that follows specific technique patterns. Second is intangible Battle Aura like flowing breath that has no patterns to follow. Compared to regular Battle Aura, intangible Battle Aura is much rarer, and the bloom of blossom that Doris used belongs to intangible Battle Aura. According to Il's understanding, the first type is an attack skill, while the second is a buff skill. Lauderen continues explaining, evolution form is an ancient combat skill. Anyone who can use demon energy can learn it, but very few use it because it comes with extremely severe side effects. Il falls into thought, is it possible for me to learn this evolution form skill as well? I seem to have dark magic within me too. But Lauderen explains that it merely exists within his body, not dark magic generated by himself. Then it shouldn't be a problem, right? Even if something goes wrong, we still have Lady Abelson here. Il wants to learn this technique, even though it's dangerous. Lauderen holds his forehead, bowing his head in thought for a long time. So Il immediately kneels down and grabs Lauderen's leg. If you don't teach me, I'll die. You know Commander Hermes' temperament? She might make me duel a regiment commander tomorrow. Under his desperate pleading, Lauderen can only agree but be prepared, as it may endanger your life. Understood. Every moment I'm here, I'm gambling with my life. Then let's begin. Meanwhile, in the underground prison of the Galen Empire's cathedral, at this moment before the Pope, hangs a bloody and battered man, none other than Oseld Geffen. Having failed the mission to rescue the Saintess, he has become a criminal. His cracked lips tremble. The Pope, is it starting? Another round of torture, torment disguised as penance. The Pope nods, acknowledging Geffen's words. I'll give you a chance to atone for your crimes. The Pope's nauseating words make him want to retch, but Oseld doesn't want to die yet. What chance? Kill Abelson Mariette. The Pope's expression turns cold. Geffen suspects he misheard. What did you say? Why? This makes no sense. Kill the candidate Saintess. What do you gain from this? The Pope doesn't answer, only telling him the reason need not be known. Geffen shakes his head. I can't accept this mission. The glutton in the Black Castle, that's not someone I can handle. Hearing this, the Pope's stern expression instantly softens. Don't worry, we'll act when the glutton is away. Additionally, I'll dispatch 3 knights to assist you. So this time, you must succeed, Geffen. On the path to glory, failure absolutely cannot be tolerated. Meanwhile, on the other side, after using evolution form for the first time, Il foams at the mouth and collapses on the ground, barely breathing. Fortunately, Lauderen calls for Abelson. Are you both insane? Making a human practice combat technique specifically designed for demons. Il said he felt fine, and over time, the demon energy remaining in his body would decrease. Abelson stares at Lauderen with a dangerous look. Are you a cleric when you're not an expert yourself? How can you determine something is safe? If left untreated, Il's survival rate is less than 1%. Previously, she wrapped and sealed the demon energy within him, but now it has all been released. In this situation, Abelson has only one method to fully fuse the demonic power within Il's body with his flesh. This is completely different from the previous situation where demonic power merely lingered within. It's a fundamental transformation of the human species that shouldn't be possible by normal logic. I will use holy power to suppress the demon energy, then spread it widely and evenly, adjusting the concentration in each part until it's within a range his body can accept. Is this really possible? Lauderen's expression turns grave. I'm not sure either. I've never done this before, and there's no precedent. There's also a possibility that the demon energy will resist the holy power and become violent. Abelson grasps Il's hand, but regardless, we have no choice but to at least try. As her words fall, a dazzling golden light instantly illuminates the surroundings, and holy power surging from Abelson's body begins seeping into Il's. 3 days later, Il groans and opens his eyes. What happened to me? Before he can even get up, Puppo and Rachel rush over. You're awake. You finally woke up. Our hero finally woke up. Rachel stares intently at Il. My lord hero, are you all right? I'm fine. Il answers in a weak voice. His memory stops at learning evolution form, but his body doesn't seem abnormal. Il checks while opening his status screen. Just as I thought, what he feared most has happened. The box symbol that suddenly appeared on his status screen not long ago has now changed to demon energy. I'm really done for now, Rachel. Is it possible for a hero to possess demon energy? Shortly after Il wakes up, Hermes and Lauderen also arrive upon hearing the news. I told you he'd wake up, didn't I? Hermes hears the entire story from Lauderen and finds it fascinating. You attempted to convert demon energy into human power? With such an interesting idea, why didn't you tell me about it? Hermes' voice suddenly drops. It seems there's a reason humans call her Saintess. To keep you alive under such circumstances, how about I give you a little help? In an instant, Hermes' mouth slowly splits open, and she approaches step by step with a smile, releasing her magic power. Just as Il tries to retreat, massive amounts of magic power flood into his body. In excruciating pain, his consciousness gradually fades. Don't worry, Lauderen, he'll be fine. It's all right, just sleep it off. You should feel honored. With this inexplicable statement, Il's consciousness cuts out completely. The demon lord summoned me. I need to go. Lauderen, I have something to entrust to you. In the blink of an eye, 3 days have passed since Hermes left, and the collapsed Il, fortunately, recovers quickly, all thanks to Abelson's efforts. During these days, she has been taking meticulous care of Il. Thank you, Lady Abelson. No need to thank me. It was your willpower that helped you through. Abelson suddenly says quietly, you are my only hope. This statement leaves Il confused, but Abelson refuses to say more. Today's treatment is finished. I must go, Lady Abelson. Why does she keep suddenly saying these strange things? Just how much is she hiding from me? After Abelson leaves, Il immediately finds Lauderen and requests to continue training. Are you sure it's okay? Lauderen looks at Il with concern. Lady Abelson also said as long as I don't mobilize magic power, it's fine. Listening to Il's words, Lauderen's thoughts have already wandered far away. It's been 3 days since Commander Hermes left. This meeting held at the Demon Lord's castle is an annual event, but for some reason, I have a bad feeling about it this year. Lauderen, only after Il's repeated calls does he snap back. You've been really busy these days, haven't you? Because you shoulder all the responsibilities of the Legion commander. Is there anything I can help you with? Lauderen shakes his head. It's fine. The commander will be back soon anyway, so don't worry about me. Focus on taking care of yourself. Hearing these touching words, Il immediately bows deeply. Yes, sir, I understand. Looking at his beaming face, Lauderen has another thought. Il has indeed grown stronger, though he himself doesn't seem to have noticed yet. Is this evolution from his body adapting to demon energy? Perhaps Il's body is growing stronger as it adapts to the demonic power, just as he's contemplating the reason for this growth. Lauderen's expression suddenly freezes. This is holy power. In the Demon Army 3rd Legion headquarters Black Giant Star, Lauderen actually senses holy power. Though candidate Saintess Abelson is indeed stationed here, what he senses now is definitely not Abelson's power. Someone is hiding holy power. There are 4, the covertly lurking holy power. If Lauderen weren't exceptionally sensitive to holy power, he probably wouldn't notice the anomaly at all. Looks like trouble's brewing. Lauderen's sudden statement stuns Il. What trouble? No time to explain. Stay here. Leaving Il standing there dumbfounded, Lauderen hurries off in a certain direction. Perhaps to keep their movements hidden, the invaders are advancing slowly, the infiltration is going quite smoothly. Is it because the glutton isn't here, Geffen? Unlike the knight's relaxed state, Geffen is quite grave this time. Keep it down. The glutton may not be here, but another monster exists in this castle, called the Red Nightmare. Just as he finishes speaking, the arriving Lauderen successfully intercepts them. The invaders are 4 humans wearing black hoods, clearly stunned when they see Lauderen suddenly appear. He's the Red Nightmare. This guy's demonic power is extraordinary. Everyone be extremely careful. The leading Geffen immediately issues combat orders to the squad. Lucas, Nell, go find Saintess Abelson. Orca, you and I will face the Red Nightmare together. Looking at those eyes, Lauderen can't help but frown. That guy is at least division commander level, Oseld Geffen. Immersed in madness, one can sense division commander level magic power from him. The target is probably to rescue Abelson. Since they bear such an important mission, they must have brought the most elite forces, and the remaining 3 are at least company commander level. Honestly, Oseld Geffen alone is difficult enough to handle. But fortunately at this moment, Il's voice comes from behind. Lauderen! This looks quite serious, so I rushed over too, though Lauderen outwardly says, "Didn't I tell you to stay put and wait for me?" Inwardly, he's actually full of gratitude. Listen, Il. Their target is the Saintess. As Lauderen speaks, he removes his necklace and tosses it to him. Take the Saintess and flee immediately. Use this necklace as proof to summon the senior officers of our unit. Understood. Il nods without hesitation. At the same time, the human side also begins to move. Geffen and Lauderen engage in fierce combat. Stop that guy. If this gets out of hand, it'll be troublesome. 2 knights immediately chase after Il. Without the commander's orders, you absolutely cannot take the Saintess. At this moment, Lauderen swings his fist toward the ground. Lauderen combat technique 7th form. Explosion, shockwave. The instant his fist contacts the ground, accompanied by a tremendous boom, the ground flips and heaves. Thanks to Lauderen's help, Il successfully escapes and rushes straight to Abelson's room. At this moment, the hero system suddenly pops up. Evil villains are attempting to kill Abelson Mariette. As the hero, you have a duty to protect this candidate Saintess. Objective: protect Abelson Mariette. Reward: 1,000 hero points. Evil villains attempting to kill Abelson Mariette? No matter how I look at it, this statement seems bizarre. That group is most likely a rescue team sent by the Holy Galen Empire, so aren't they the righteous side? And the reward is too generous. The bounty is actually as high as 1,000 hero points. Il shakes his head to clear his distracting thoughts and bursts into the Saintess's room. Humans have broken in again. It's the same ones as last time. We need to flee quickly. Since Il holds Lauderen's necklace in his hand, the Minotaurs guarding the Saintess don't obstruct him. The invaders are here. By Lauderen's orders, we will defend this place to the death and stop anyone from entering. Human, take the Saintess and run quickly. The situation is urgent, so Il scoops Abelson up in his arms. Please forgive my rudeness. Demon Army 3rd Legion Headquarters Conference Room, where Commander Roigel is currently holding a meeting with officers. Currently, 2 commanders are stationed at the Black Castle, and each commander oversees 5 battalion commanders. Because Doris died in battle, only 9 battalion commanders remain. During the meeting, a goblin suddenly reports an emergency. A human carrying Lauderen's necklace has arrived here. He says humans attacked the castle because they're hunting the Saintess. What's going on? Not understanding, Roigel comes out to meet Il. This commander's appearance is indistinguishable from humans. Il has seen him before. He's the high-ranking demon who appeared during Doris's commander selection battle. Explain to me in detail what happened. Il takes out Lauderen's necklace and tells everything that just happened. After hearing this, Roigel looks utterly perplexed. Humans want to kill the Saintess? How is that possible? However, the very next second, as if hearing something, he shouts loudly for everyone to get out of the way. Sure enough, 2 black shadows suddenly descend from above. Their target points directly at the Saintess, though Roigel immediately casts action restraint, attempting to bind the attackers. The distance is too far, he can't make it in time. Just as the hero quest described, this group's purpose isn't to rescue Abelson, but to kill Abelson. Sharp blades whistle toward them with momentum to pierce through anything. Lauderen combat technique 7th form. Explosion, shockwave. At this critical moment, Il successfully strikes the attackers. I will protect Lady Abelson.